Your morning just got more interesting. Distilled and barrel-picked for your listening pleasure. Bo Bishop, a local sports media legend. What William T. Sherman was to the Union Army, he is to Northern College football. A husband, a father, and middling youth sports coach. He's friends with Central Ohio sporting royalty.
Talking to Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjorken. Coach Day walking on with us right now. Good to see you, buddy. Good buddy Austin Ward. My good buddy Tim May, the Tim May Show. The great Doug Lamery's joining us.
Hi, everybody. Dom Tiberi here.
Oh, Reese came in and he handed me papers.
Yeah.
And then he said, "You see that button? That's the only button you need to worry about. Don't touch. There's 8,000 buttons in front of me." Oh, I didn't know what he was talking about.
The one that says on.
We blew the budget on this imaging, and only two guys answered our ad on Craigslist. Ryan Baker and Eric Reeser. Act accordingly. You're now listening to Bishop and Friends.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years.
All right, let's do it live on a Thursday edition of the program. Bo and the boys with you for the next three. Loaded up with your emails at 10 o'clock. Another full mailbag there. 10:30, Paul Finebaum will stop by. I believe he said earlier this week he doesn't think it'll be particularly close on Saturday between the Bucks and the Longhorns. So we'll press him on that to see if that was just for theater or if he actually believes it'll be a burnt orange beatdown on Saturday. 11 o'clock, we hit you with higher lower. 11:30, Anoir Richardson of orangebloods.com behind enemy lines. Some keys to the victory from the Longhorn side. And then, of course, what concerns him from the Ohio State side of things. We had Jake Trotter on yesterday. Wrote a great piece about Ryan Day, the aftermath of the loss to Michigan, the change that occurred in him and this team. Talked about that 3-hour meeting, and then what that loss led to, which was that run. We'll never know if that loss was necessary for that response. What we do know is the Buckeye team that I think everyone was waiting to see last season, we saw in those last 4 games. And you knew right away in the Tennessee game that it was just a little bit different. And I think you knew right away that Ryan Day was a little bit different and that it was all going to be let hang out. And he was going to trust who he was and trust who his team was, and it netted a national championship. The thing that Jake said that jumped out to me yesterday, and I really couldn't stop thinking about it yesterday and into this morning, was when he said, "I think it's the hardest job in the country and it's not particularly close." I don't know if it was always that way. I don't know if the Ohio State job was always that way. It was always among the toughest jobs in all of college football. But this was a slow build to this point. If you think about, if you go back through history and you think about the absurd run that Woody Hayes had, built by, I will have the very best players in the state of Ohio. They will play for me. And I will develop them, and we will win. And boy, did he. That gives way to Earl, who goes 11-1 year one here, and then became known a little bit as 8-3 Earl. Earl's one of my favorite guys of all time. It was a blessing to host the coaches shows and stuff with him and Coop for all of those years. He had a winning record against Michigan, but there was a feeling that there was a ceiling to that program. In walks John Cooper, who obviously when you talk about Coop, the Michigan stuff is out there. It's very, very real. But the one thing that he probably doesn't get enough credit for was the nationalizing of the program. Coop went and recruited anywhere and brought them here. That changed with Coop. Then Tress comes in, and what does Tress do? At his introductory press conference at a basketball game, he says, "You're going to be proud of our boys in Ann Arbor," and then they went and won. And then in year 2, he won a national title. But there were also things, and this is when I jumped paratroop into the situation in 2007, which was my first year here. And the feeling around the program at that point was, you were entitled to beat Michigan because they beat them every year, but that was also this situation where when it came to the bowl game, there was some restlessness because you were losing to the SEC teams by the time you would get to the national championship. And of course, there was the 06 and 07 games, and everybody knows the history from there. I remember Tress, after they beat Arkansas down in the Sugar Bowl on the bus, Dom and I were standing outside to do post-game, and he kind of mimicked that he got the monkey off of his back by beating an SEC team in a bowl game. But there was nothing at that time where we were like, well, if you don't beat the SEC in a bowl game, we're going to fire you. There was no conversation around that. He had won a national title. He was successful against Michigan. There were some weird losses here and there, but the program was in such incredible shape. So then comes along Urban. After the 1 year with Fick comes Urban. And what Urban did was he was almost like a superconductor for the program. He recruited at a level that we had never seen before. But I was having a conversation with Beamsy on the way to school today, and he said something to me. We were going through the Ohio State schedule. He goes, Dad, what do you think Ohio State's record will be? And I said, I don't know. To me, like, if it's 11-2 and you win the Big Ten, that feels like that would be a success. You're in the playoff, and away you go. Beat Michigan, win the Big Ten. That would feel like a success to me if that's the way that the season goes. Well, he says, well, who are the losses going to come to? And I said, I don't know. Maybe Texas, maybe Penn State, maybe somebody else. Who knows? He goes, well, who else could beat us? And I said, well, what do you mean? I go, upsets happen in college football. He goes, we don't ever lose to anybody who's not good. And I said, well, let me tell you a little story about Iowa. Let me tell you a little story about Purdue. These things used to happen. A near miss against Maryland. You would lose to teams that you were superior to. The one thing that Ryan doesn't do, with the exception of the Michigan game last year, is lose at games where talent doesn't equate. That was kind of the one thing, right? So then you insert Coach Day, and he's a rocket ship. He just continues on. But I do think that the constant one-upsmanship in the coaching around here has led to this spot where Ryan Day, I think, really believes that if he doesn't win every game he's going to play, he's going to hear it. And I got news for you. If he loses, and this team loses Saturday to Texas, I don't think that there will be this giant outrage around it. There shouldn't be. Now, I expect Ohio State to go in there, and I think this defense is going to be elite. And I think if you paid attention all week, I think it's going to be kind of a clunky, low-scoring game. And it's going to be who plays clean, all of the things that are cliche. All of those things will lead to who wins. But I don't think that there will be any sort of panic. And I think winning the national championship grants you that right. It grants you grace when you win the national title. And I don't think that he's in a situation where when he loses this year, that the walls are coming down. I think you're past that at that point. And I think when you hang that banner, that's what happens. It allows for some grace. No one came at Urban after, losing to Purdue or losing to Iowa or getting shut out by Clemson, those type of things. None of that, nobody came for Urban because he won it in 2014. He won it in year 2. Tress won it in year 2. It took Ryan a little bit longer, barely, but that grace will now be afforded to him. Michigan game's its whole other animal. But my hope for Coach Day is that there is enjoyment in this. I think one of the guys who's really done a very good job of this at the national level is Dabo. He's been able to kind of have some perspective that 2 national championships provide you. When you win those, you can kind of have perspective on what happens on any given Saturday. But that really hung with me, that this is the toughest job in the country. It's not particularly close. I think it's been building to that for a very, very long time to get to that point.
Yeah, it's certainly I don't think I'd agree with not particularly close, because I think there are some other jobs around the country. Like the job at Alabama, I don't think is harder overall than what Ryan Day's got to do. But following Nick Saban, I think is almost the impossible job to do in college football, at least to do it properly. But win or lose for Ohio State Saturday, the theme after that is but beat Michigan. If you lose, okay, you lost to Texas. You got to beat Michigan. Hey, you beat Texas, great. You're the number 1 team in the country. Got to beat Michigan. Like that's the one theme you'll be able to take week 1. You'll be able to take week 6. You'll be able to take week 8. The one prevailing theme for all of these games for Ohio State this season that aren't Michigan. Yeah, hey, great, that happened. This looked good. This looked bad. You got to clean this up. But, however, beat Michigan.
Yeah.
I think what you say, Reese, about Alabama is factual. Like right now, the job that Kalen DeBoer has replacing Nick Saban is difficult. But way back when they had to replace Bear Bryant, and it didn't, we've noted there have been downtimes. Bo, you're right that this has been a long build to this, and that's because the last 50 years, 60 years have been so great. There hasn't been a drop-off at Ohio State. Everybody else has had a drop-off.
Yeah.
Notre Dame went away. Michigan had tough years. Georgia had awful years. Alabama.
Decades.
like Mike Price, and they almost hired Rich Rod, Mike Shula. Like, all of these things, like, Ohio State has not had that terrible coaching hire where it's dropped off. So I do think the expectations are so high. And does Ryan Day have some grace right now? Yeah, I think he does. But if they lose to Texas, there's going to be a group of fans that are like, see, his record against top 5, top 10 teams still isn't great.
I would tell those people to go to hell.
And look at James Franklin.
But I'm just saying that's what we're going to have, right? There will be some people out there that say that.
Don't you also think that the people who say that are the very few? The Michigan thing's different, but I don't think that there's going to be this. I mean, if you are so delusional to think that if you somehow lose to the number 1 team in the country with the Heisman favorite while you're starting a kid who's in his second year, if you are one of those people who's like, I told you. I mean, go the last 4 games the guy coached, man. Nuts. Like, the Michigan thing, I'll grant you, that's something that is going to build as the season goes along. And I think in a lot of ways, for most people, that's kind of what this year's all about. But I also think we cannot bow to like the lunatic fringe of the far area that is up in arms about something. My God, folks, you have to be able to enjoy this stuff on a week-to-week basis.
That's what makes it the hardest, though.
Yeah.
Is that you have that and you have the expectations, right? Yeah. Like, there's not a lot of Ohio State fans out there right now that think Ohio State's losing this game this weekend.
Yeah.
And that's where the expectations are.
Yeah, it's just built to a point that it's gotten to that this is now the reality, and I the thing, and I think the big point is one we talk about all the time is never missing on a coach, and then it feels like with every coaching hire it either got better or it stayed, but the program just kept elevating to this point of no return. There is nothing else like it in sport. And the crazy thing is, the team that you're going to play on Saturday is a mirror image of you in damn near every way except that one. I got folks I talked to down in Austin, the folks that talked about the Texas program. There is not this beat Oklahoma every year, win the national championship, or you're fired at Texas. That's not what it is. That is reserved really only for here, and I think probably only for Alabama right now, and only post-Saban. I don't think there's anything else in the country that's quite like it. So while there are a lot of similarities in these two teams that are going to play on Saturday, there's one big difference, and that is the pressure and the intensity of the job. Ryan Day available last night. You will hear from him as the Buckeyes continue to prepare for the Longhorns coming in here on Saturday. You're also going to hear from Buckeye captains Brandon Innes, Sonny Styles. Getting closer now, kids. We're off and running. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We're the highest rated sports radio station in America. There's no joke there. We just are. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Dormar, your climate hero. When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.
Hey, Ohio State fans. While others cut corners, like that team up north, Valvoline Instant Oil Change is Buckeye-level quality. We train hard and treat every day like game day. We're always quick, but never rushed. And you can stay in your car while our experts do the work. Valvoline Instant Oil Change is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Visit valvoline.com/Buckeyes to find your nearest location and access exclusive fan savings.
Make Labor Day a good deal better at Meijer. Celebrate the long holiday weekend with fresh from Meijer 80% lean ground beef. Just $2.97 a pound with M-Perks for a 3-pound package or larger. Limit 3. Discount automatically applied when you enter your M-Perks ID. Large seedless watermelons are $3.99 each. And locally grown bulk sweet corn is 5 for $2. Shop Meijer and bring more fresh favorites to your Labor Day celebration. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. Hi, I'm in a whirlwind of college prep. Gotcha. We've got affordable solutions to create the perfect college living space. Great. And visit our website to see how verified college students with an IKEA family account can receive a one-time use 15% off coupon. Nice. You guys think of everything. Pretty much. Offer ends 9/30/25. Valid ID required. Discount applied proportionally across items purchased as shown on receipt. See IKEA-USA.com/ready-for-college for complete terms.
Hey, Buckeye fans. As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 3 trips to a Buckeye first-round postseason game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Buckeyes, the 2025 football season is here, and that means 3 things: football, game day, and smooth Jameson whiskey. Whether you're catching the game at home, at your neighborhood bar, or soaking up the team spirit at a tailgate, Jameson Ginger and Lime at Ohio State Athletics are a winning combo. So cheers to making game days even better with the official whiskey of the fans. Jameson, proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Taste responsibly.
Jameson Irish Whiskey, product of Ireland. 40% alcohol by volume, 80 proof. Copyright 2025, imported by John Jameson Import Company, New York, New York.
When it comes time to replace the roof over your head, you need a name you can trust. Newman Roofing. Don't just take our word for it. Here's our friend Cindy.
We were very happy with our experience, and we would highly recommend Newman to anybody we talk to.
Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Dormar, you're kind of hero. What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
At the Ohio Lottery, we make Keno fun, your way. That means every few minutes across Ohio, 20 out of 80 possible numbers are randomly picked. And if some of the numbers you picked match, voila, you're a winner. Keno doesn't require you to know a single thing about sports skidball or overs, unders, pluses, minuses, or lines, or whatever else. Keno is as simple as, did some of my numbers match? They did? Great. You just raked in some dough. There are more than 20 hours of Keno draws every day and thousands of places to play statewide. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing.
As we start the new school year, educators and parents are standing shoulder to shoulder to support our public school students and demand the resources they need to succeed. Stand with us for the great public schools our students deserve. We are stronger together this school year because public education matters.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Make sure you have your umbrella and sunglasses. We'll have some chances of showers earlier in the afternoon with clouds increasing and then some sun here and there throughout the day and highs in the mid to low 70s. Overnight, partly cloudy with lows in the mid 50s with patchy fog developing for Friday morning. But don't worry, the sun will come out later in the day with highs getting into the mid 70s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
Matty Ice has a large tattoo on his calf of LeBron eating a lion. I have nothing else to say. Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Drink recommendations, movie reviews, sports discussion, and whatever the hell Reeser does. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, kids, you think you know your sports trivia? Here is your shot to score a chance to win tickets to Ohio State and Texas. It's the season kickoff trivia tournament. It is Friday, August 29th at the O on Lane. Bring the heat, bring your A game, bring a teammate. Sign up your 2-person team right now, 971thefan.com. The season kickoff trivia tournament is sponsored by Logan Services. You win that, and then you get the tickets. Have you guys been monitoring it all? Like the get in the door situation?
We're approaching 400, I think, for the lowest.
Yeah, I looked 2 days ago, I believe, and the cheapest I saw was $337, I think. And that's without fees.
I was about to say, without taxes and fees, which...
Is there a... I'm trying to think where I am with this. Like, you know, you pay the big money for the ticket. Is there a way for you to walk out of that place relatively satisfied despite it not going your way? And I'm not necessarily talking about Ohio State, Texas. I'm talking about a game like this where the season is not over for the loser in any way, shape, or form. But one thing that I am so curious about for Saturday is how does all of these things that Ross is trying to do, how do they land? How do the bells land? How does the run out work? What do they do? Does this have people? But do people know the sing along? Is that song known? Has it been making its way around?
That's a great question.
Because that was a couple of weeks ago, and I'd never heard of the group, and I'd never heard of the song. Now we played it, and I was like, yeah, okay, I get it. That's one, and if people know it, it's pretty quick to get the words and be able to sing along with it, but are we prepared for it? I saw the image they set out on social with the towels. We're going to spin the towels, which is always a very cool look, but they've never done it here. And they're going to give out 100,000 of them, and then they want you to bring them every week. Is that something that next week you're going to remember? If this thing doesn't go the way you want to on Saturday, do you throw the damn towel on the ground and you walk away and leave it? Like, those are the things that I'm curious how all of this goes beyond, of course, the biggest curiosity is what does this game look like? But I'm curious if all of those things land and kind of how the environment is.
I think a lot of it does fall on the students for game one. So the hope would be the Block O and the student leaders of that organization have the students choreographed and ready for everything that Ross is going to be rolling out. Because I do think it'll take at least 3 by Ohio, by that game on September 13th. Then I think you'd like to have the fan base humming. But for week one, yeah, it's like what we wish, but hard to get 100,000 plus people into practice. Like, you got to find times for everybody, and that's just not going to be the case. But if the students go, I think you will get a lot of the fan base that will go as OSU students.
I got to be honest, I don't care about any of that stuff for this game. Like, if you need all of that crap for this
Fake
game,
is Jonathan Moxon's dad.
Get the hell out of here. Like, this is number one.
You see
versus
those kids out there, they're having the times of their life.
To start
you can't
the
get
game,
excited for football.
Like, I don't care. Like, just give me a classic game, right? The fans will go for it.
What if the classic game, because this is the point of all of this. If you drop the money, and let's say that a $400 ticket for you is you feel it, but it's not, you're fine, right? In that instance, if you get a classic game, and it's like the Vince Young game here in 2005, do you walk out of there going, okay, I know where we're at. We're a damn good football team. But that was money well spent. Or is the only way it's money well spent is if it's a Buckeye victory?
It's probably both. I would imagine that feel, all right, I'm seeing a great game. It's something to be able to tell my grandkids about, or something that I'm taking my kids to, and we're going to remember this memory only forever. And probably some that say if they don't get a win, then this was a complete waste. I'm going to throw away my V towel. I'm never bringing that back out again. So I think it's fairly divided, but I will say for their pregame, during game, and after game festivities that they're planning, you need this to kind of set up for success in consecutive weeks. So you're right, Baker, that you shouldn't need anything to get up for a game like this. You will need things like this to get up for a game like Grambling, or for a game like Ohio, or for games in later seasons against teams like Charlotte and Boston College.
This is when you're trying to amend or create tradition. It's critical that it gets off to a good start. And I think in an ideal world, much like for Ryan Day and his staff, and probably Sark and his staff, you wish you were playing Grambling right in 2 days, or Ohio in 2 days, and then played this game on the field and off. Normally you get to kind of warm up a little bit before you go to the heavyweight fight. We're opening with the heavyweight fight. So yeah, I'm sure you guys get this all the time. I get it all the time. What do you think's going to happen? Man, I don't know. I mean, we're going to make picks at the end of the show tomorrow when we're at the O on Lane, and we're going to make picks, and we're going to give you 3 things to a Buckeye victory. But I don't know what this is going to look like. Not entirely sure from their perspective or from the Ohio State perspective. But here's what I do know, and Bake is dead on about this for sure, is none of this is going to matter by the time you tee it up. At that point, it's number 1 against number 2. And Ryan Day talked about that last night. Games like this is why you're Buckeye fans, why we love doing this show here, and why he's the coach at Ohio State.
I think it's just great for college football. It's great for our fans. It's great for our team. Again, no expectations other than to win, but it's going to be a great environment. Like I mentioned before, the louder that we can make it, the harder we can make it for Texas, the better for us. And so, we need the crowd into it. And, execution fuels emotion. I talk to the guys about that all the time. So the more, execution we have, the more big plays that we make, the more the crowd will get into it. But no, it's a great way to start the year. It's just different. It's different. And so, there's positives and negatives to everything, but man, what a great game to kick off the season with against a great opponent and our guys. But this is why you come to Ohio State. You come to Ohio State and play in games like this. No disrespect to other teams, but this is what it's all about. When you go to recruiting and you sit in people's homes and you talk about what it means to be a Buckeye and the great tradition of great games that are played, to say this is one of the best opening games that's ever been played in Ohio Stadium history. I mean, come on. This is unbelievable. So, for us to rally together early in the season like this as a fan base and as Buckeye Nation is going to be great.
So, Coach Day's, every single time he talks about this, he talks about how he needs the crowd. Every time. So, look, sometimes if you just listen to what people say, they'll tell you. And sometimes, in the case of Coach Day, the actions, right? The actions speak louder than the words in some cases. But the reality is, when it's noon, you need a little bit of a shot in the arm, a shot of adrenaline. It comes quick. You guys have been down there. No matter how early you want to get started, you blink, and it's skull session at 10:30, and all of a sudden you're walking in, and we're going. And so there's no build to it. It happens so quickly. Now, we had a great environment for Indiana last year. The Michigan game always speaks for itself. There's tradition with that, though, right? I saw this from Stuart Mandel a couple of days ago about why is Ohio State up in arms about playing noon games, but will embrace the Michigan game. Dude, do you not understand nuance? Do you understand tradition? Buckeye fans are, of course, you want to play the Michigan game at noon. That's called tradition. It's what we do it every year. That's what you do, is you play that game there. The only beef that Ohio State had and its fans had is that they're resigned to and relegated to playing every big game here at noon from now until 2030. That's the problem.
Yeah, I forgot there were 6 straight noon kicks last year.
Right.
That's where the fatigue comes from. If Ohio State had mixed those up and you didn't have even a pair of back-to-back nooners, then maybe this is taken a little bit easier.
There's no doubt.
There's just so much fatigue because you've spent the better part of this big noon experiment being the big noon team. It doesn't have as much to do with the time so much as the amount of times you've been at that time.
Think what we just did too. We just talked about the 2005 Texas game. That's a game that Ohio State lost. But most people who talk about that game talk about it revering the experience of that night game. Think about when you think of the Penn State game for much of the last 2 decades. What do you think about? Whether it's over there or here, you think about it at night. That's where the great memories are. Those are night games. Those are what we're taking. That's what it's about. So that's where all of this environment has come from. That's what Ross is trying to do. They know that they had an electric environment against Tennessee at night in the playoff, and they're trying to find a way to do that. The other thing they did is they saw what happened at Oregon, and they went, this is pretty cool. We need to get a little bit a part of this. So that's what all of those things are, and they all marry because hopefully for Ryan and for the Buckeyes, it creates a cauldron on Saturday at noon that makes it difficult for Texas to go about their operation. It's all marries, one after another. We have yet to hear from any of the particulars in this in terms of the players from the Buckeye side of it. They were available last night. The Buckeye captains, in fact, Sonny Styles, Brandon Ennis. It's a heck of a way to start the season. You'll hear from both of them in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Hey, it's Desmond Howard. You want to win the weekend? It all starts with the tailgate. And for me, that means Kingsford Charcoal.
They've been bringing the flavor, the smoke, and the heat since 1920. No wonder they're still the gold standard of grilling. So fire it up, feed your crew, and let the smoke do the talking. Kingsford, the king of the tailgate. Get it today at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
A Progressive Home and Auto Bundle can protect you round the clock, but we can't protect you from those painful moments in sports.
Oh, I can't believe we blew a 5-touchdown lead.
Sure, but you got to feel like they were going to win for almost the entire game.
But I was about to buy playoff tickets.
So you were prepared for a good time. That's pretty nice.
It's the worst loss any team has ever had.
And you got to witness history.
Okay, we're done here.
Well, at least your home and auto are protected with a bundle from Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Get your air conditioner fixed fast. Call Care Heating and Cooling, 1-800-COOLING.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. For all your roofing, gutter, or siding needs, call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
About 50 hours from now, a little more than, you're going to have the Buckeyes and the Longhorns at the shoe, number 1 against number 2, an opener the likes of which we have never seen. One of the things that starts to register a couple of years ago was the idea that this was going to be not only Ohio State versus Texas and all that comes with that, but very likely Arch Manning's first start. Now, it didn't happen because he got hurt last year Quinn Ewers got hurt last year, and so Arch was thrust into action, started a couple of games, and so it's not quite his first start, but it's his first start like this, first road start, never been in anything quite like this. And he will be, certainly from the national perspective, right in the thick of all of this. This is one of the most famous recruits of all time. He's coming in here. One of the things that I'm always curious about is, are we sure he's good? We're going to find out on Saturday if he is. Sonny Styles, who will be one of the captains and the captain of the defense, was asked about what stands out about the Longhorns quarterback. Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, I mean, when you turn on the film, he has amazing arm talent. You've seen him make some pretty deep passes. Like you said, he's a great athlete, so you got to be ready for him to run and stuff like that. He's a great playmaker. He can extend plays and make plays downfield. So you got to try and keep him in the pocket and just know what you're getting into.
Sonny, of course, a legacy here. It's a family operation. This year, not only was he a captain, he was picked to wear the block. Oh, here is Sonny on that.
Oh, it was an amazing feeling, man. Once they said my name for the block, I think the first thing that came to mind was just thinking about the guys who got it before me. Like, those are the guys I looked up to, man. Like, freshman year was Bab, next year was X, and then obviously last year was Cody. Like, those are my guys. Those are the guys I wanted to be like. So, to be able to put on that same number as them, it's definitely an honor.
Bo, I think it's so crazy. Just thinking of Sonny Styles. This dude's a senior now. He came in here at 17 years old. He graduated high school early and came in here as a 17-year-old. And now we didn't see him play much defensively, but he was on special teams and making plays and being part of this team. He's only 20 years old, and he's already played a lot of football for Ohio State. I think we kind of forget about that sometimes, that this dude at 17 was mature enough to come in here and contribute with Ohio State, and he's just made the progression to, from special teams to safety to now linebacker and being the unquestioned leader of this defense.
He was obviously, you heard whispers about Sonny. I mean, the name speaks for itself. So you hear whispers about him as he's going through. But the thing that was ingrained in my head with him was the state championship basketball game when they were playing Centerville. And it was him and Devin Royal and Gabe Cupps, both Buckeyes now. Gabe was the Mr. Ohio, and then obviously Devin wins it the next year. But I'm watching that state final game, and I'm watching him. I'm like, all right. So, and there was a kid from Centerville. Centerville hadn't lost in 2 years. There was a kid from Centerville who went to Florida State too, and Cupps was going to Indiana and all of this stuff. And I'm watching the game, and I'm like, all right. So the kid who's going to play football is the most dominant player on the court, and he was the most dominant player on the court. They basically played bully ball at the end of that game, and he just kind of held it at half court and played keep away. Him and Devin did, and they won a state title. And then the second thing I thought was, my God, if he had played his senior season at Pick Central, they would have won it again. Yeah. He probably would have won football too, a high school legacy forever. But the Buckeyes are calling, so you go. I mean, I get it, but it is one of the incredible things that he was thrust in, and then you got to find a spot. That was the other thing. It's like, what is he? Is he a safety? Is he a linebacker? Is he a defensive end? Is he a tight end? Like, what do you do with him? Do you put him at defensive end and get him down there and there, just rushing the quarterback? But I remember this. I remember threes, and I remember him saying, "I've got to get him in this room." That's the natural position for him. And I'm going to tell you something, folks. Saturday, when you see 0 and 8 arriving at the ball in a bad mood, often, buckle up. Those dudes are massive, and they're missiles. They're tackling machines. We've had a lot of good linebackers. We've had a ton of them. You could make the case linebacker you. This combination of size and speed is pretty unique.
You've got 31 scouts from 20 NFL teams and 2 NFL GMs that will be in attendance for this game. I think it's safe to say all 20 of those teams, probably both of those general managers, if they're from other than the 20 teams, have those 2 players you just mentioned very high on their list to watch.
Probably
very high.
Probably the last linebacker combo that's anywhere close to this would maybe be Jerome Baker and Raekwon McMillan. I don't think you've had a linebacker as good as either of these two, though, since probably Shazier.
Yeah, well, and the other thing about it is just their sheer size. I mean, they're kind of like Bob and AJ in terms of just the size of the two guys. They're just massive dudes. That's the other part of it. You mentioned the scouts and general managers, Reese. Actually, the LSU Clemson game and the Notre Dame Miami game, I see this in the prep, actually had more scouts and more GMs. Here's what I think that's about. GMs and scouts are turning it into mini vacations.
Sure.
You go to Clemson and then you head over to Savannah or Charleston on a Saturday or Sunday night, or you go to South Florida and you turn it into a little mini vacation because the NFL's off this weekend. They're all off. Everyone's out of town Thursday, and they're off all week until Monday. So that's my guess why those 2 games have more.
And I would guess every one of these scouts and GMs that are going to all 3 of these games, I would guess every one of them was at the last Ohio State-Texas game.
Well, I was just about to say, several, maybe half of the scouts are going to go from Texas to Ohio State right down to South Beach for that Notre Dame-Miami game.
Yeah, you could.
They just hop on a connecting flight. You're not going to make, obviously, LSU-Clemson, but you could definitely see the Irish and the Hurricanes. This is one of those things to where I don't know how NFL teams during kind of lulls in their season have their scouting departments broken up, but you're almost drawing straws because I want to go watch Clemson LSU. I want to go watch Ohio State and Texas.
Yeah, you've never had an opening weekend like this. No, you haven't. It's getting back to this matchup of the Buckeye defense versus the Texas offense and Arch and all that comes with it. That to me is just endlessly fascinating. How Matt Patricia deploys all of these weapons at his disposal, because it's not just these 2 linebackers. Obviously, it's Caleb. I think all of those things I'm very curious about. With a little bit of an inexperienced wide receiver group, they got Wingo back at Texas, but lost a couple of guys to the league, bringing in a transfer tight end. Can their offensive line hold up against pressure? All of those things I'm endlessly curious about. On the other side, obviously, so much of this is going to be about Julian. That's I think the rest of it, you kind of feel. I mean, I have questions about the running back room just because I haven't seen it. Doesn't mean that I don't believe in it. I just haven't seen it. But it's just going to come down to Julian, and we just have never seen anybody in a start like this to start their career. No one's ever done this. So what to expect, who knows on that side of things. Here's the one constant thing that I do know, and that is that anytime you ask his teammates, and I heard C.J. Stroud talking about the confidence that he has in Julian, here's Captain Brandon Innes now and the confidence he has in Julian saying.
Just the plays he making in practice. I mean, he hasn't started a game yet, but the plays he making in practice, the consistency he has been showing. He's become a much more vocal leader in the huddle, and I've been seeing everything great from him. We texted last night, and I just tell him I was proud of him just because as a QB, he feels so much pressure right now. A lot of people don't tell him that, and I just felt like that was something that I just wanted him to calm down, feel good about himself.
At some point Saturday, you're going to go down that ramp. You're going to hear the bells. You're going to run out. You're going to 105,000 people at the absolute top of their throat. And you're going to look around and go, oh, my goodness. And then you're going to get hit. You're going to make a few throws. One thing we had Justin Zwick on this week, and I remember he and I talking about this on Buckeye Blitz all the time, and Reese, it's one of your shticks is the bomb. Well, that's one of the things that a lot of quarterbacks say they want right away is give me a go. Give me a go right away. Now, my guess is that they will have number 4 bracketed at Texas on the first play of the game. and they'll have a safety over the top wherever he is. So it might be 17 on the other side where you take advantage of that. Could be Max Clare down the middle. But sometimes you just want to air one out to kind of let all the nerves go out of the body.
Yeah, you can't let what happened to Tennessee and what happened to Oregon happen to you week 1 of the next season. And if I'm Ohio State, that's kind of what I'm looking for early.
Bo, you said Jeremiah Smith bracketed, and the first thing I thought, Max Clare right down the middle.
Yeah, right down the seam.
Right down the
that
seam.
wheel they hit with the hit on Oregon, right there.
Maybe like a little post route away from whatever side Jeremiah's on, and boom.
Yeah. My hunch is that they had such a great plan for Jeremiah last time.
They had the Thorpe winner, the Thorpe winner, and that was the best, I think, secondary that Ohio State. Probably the best secondary that Jeremiah Smith had faced and maybe will face was that Texas secondary last season. I don't know if they got anything like that this year in any part of college football.
No, probably not to that level, but they do have Michael Toff back on the back end at safety, and he's a preseason first-team All-American. And they recruit the way Ohio State does. You pull up the 2 deep, it's all guys that were recruited here or you would have loved to have had, and vice versa. Like, this is the Spider-Man gif. These 2 teams look a lot alike when you think of it. So, there's a lot of great matchups in this one, and I can't wait to see all of this unfolds because it truly is. There are some things that feel known, but a great many things that don't, and it's going to be fun to see it play out on a football field on Saturday at noon at the Shoe. All right, busy sports night last night. We've got college football tonight as well, kids, including the beloved Bobcats. Get you set for all of that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Tweet from a listener. Are you carrying the Buckeye game today? Considering we've never not carried one, yes. The answer is yes. The Fan.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
With business banking, Tel Ohio Credit Union takes it personally. It's why they are the #1 SBA lender among Ohio credit unions. You are a member, not a number. That's the Tel Ohio difference. Visit telhio.org/business.
Certain restrictions apply. Tel Ohio is open to all in Central and Southwestern Ohio. Federally insured by NCUA.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
The dog days are the best days to save at Coughlin Ford. Lease a new 25 Ford Escape or Bronco Sport. Just $399 a month with 0 down. New 25 F-150 or Lightning Flash. Only $499 a month with 0 down. Visit our newest location in Marysville or CoughlinFord.com.
Coughlin has the car for you.
40-month lease, all factory rebates to dealer. All prior sales excluded. In-stock units only. 7,500 miles per year, 25 cents per mile. Excludes $387 down payment. $395 disposition fee at lease. No security deposit. See dealer for details. Ends 9/2/25.
The roof of your home protects what matters most in your life. Your family, your memories, your peace of mind. So when it comes time to replace the roof over your head, you need a name you can trust. Newman Roofing. Don't just take our word for it. Here's our friend Cindy on why she chose Newman Roofing over all the rest.
We had interviewed and talked with several other roofing companies around the city. The salesperson that came to speak with us was extremely knowledgeable, answered questions, took his time with us. We were happy to make Newman our choice.
And you'll have peace of mind knowing that on the day of the installation, we'll give you and your home the respect it deserves.
The guys arrived right on time. The crew leader came and talked with us, let us know what they were going to be doing. He was here all day with the crew. That itself was very impressive.
If you're thinking about your roofing or siding, give Newman Roofing a call today.
We were very happy with our experience, and we would highly recommend Newman to anybody we talk to.
Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof. Call 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Out or In, the legendary bar on High and Framby since 1969, is open at 6 a.m. on game day. Be one of the first 100 through the door and score a limited edition Out or In shirt. 3 generations of fans have signed their walls. Out or In, with the biggest bar, best patios, and great music. It's the #1 game day tradition. Follow them on social for details. Out or In, where the title defense begins.
In the old days when people lived to be 40, you only had one option for listening to your favorite show. But now, ooh, baby, radio, podcast, the Fan app, and YouTube, just to name a few, live or on demand. You have no excuses. The Fan.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
All your favorite Fan shows are available when you want them.
Head to 971thefan.com and hit that subscribe button.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. The friends are the guests and listeners. Reeser and Baker just work here.
Back to work. Back to work. Everybody, work, 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 work.
You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
I fear that I have a well-deserved reputation as someone who complains a lot about decisions that are made by television networks. I think it's well-earned. But I don't want to come across as like too much of a get-off-my-lawn all-the-time guy, even though I fear that that's what I've become. That being said, why is Nebraska-Cincinnati playing at 9 o'clock? Is this right? Is it a 9 o'clock kick tonight?
Big-time game at Arrowhead.
Arrowhead.
What's the 7 o'clock? What's keeping them from playing this game at 8 o'clock?
Well, there's Boise State and South Florida at 5:30, so your question's valid.
So you got the Bobcats taking on the team that invented football.
Yeah, that's on the Big Ten Network, though.
How are they doing that? Are these times right where the mighty Bobcats are playing at Rutgers at 7 o'clock, the birthplace of college, 6?
Yeah.
And then the Big Ten Network scheduled Miami at Wisconsin at 9?
Yeah.
Miami, Ohio at Wisconsin. You tell me how there's a 3-hour football game in Piscataway at 6 o'clock.
Oh, boy, I sure hope not, as a fan of one of the teams.
I mean, that's...
Run the ball, get it over. Give me 20 minutes, please.
These guys run triple option, and I forgot about it? Like, how's
Rutgers
this over?
Birthed football, and you know Greg Schiano's going to throw wonky things at everybody.
They're going to be like one of these youth football teams that milks every last second of the play clock, so a 6-play drive takes 6 minutes. I don't understand how you're going to be done by 9 o'clock for Miami at Wisconsin. FS1 also has Buffalo at Minnesota. You said USF and Boise State today as well?
Yeah, that's a 5:30 kick. They're playing at Raymond James.
I mean, look, I think of the games going. That's an interesting one because Boise State is kind of the team is where they made it last year. They're a ranked team this year. They obviously have no margin for error. They have to go undefeated to be able to handle it and to go all the way across the country. That's an interesting one for sure. I'm curious about all the Big Ten teams in terms of what that looks like. You forget how late in the season this year we play Rutgers. I mean, that's the game before Michigan. Yeah, because it's UCLA, Rutgers, and then it's the game before Michigan. So the second last game of the season. So you get a decent look at them. I think the one I would certainly be most curious about, though, is Nebraska against Cincinnati at Kansas City.
Yeah, they fall on their face against Big 12 power Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I mean, because Dylan Raiola couldn't have asked for a better start to his season. I mean, he looks like Patrick Mahomes. He trains like Patrick Mahomes. He worships Patrick Mahomes. He gets to open the 2025 campaign playing where Patrick Mahomes plays.
Do we know why this game is at Arrowhead? Like, what is the draw to do this there?
Probably tourism, Kansas City.
Yeah. Before they go to Missouri.
Yeah, that's my guess. Is that
you're going to need to do something at that stadium?
Wait a second. It is in Missouri.
Oh, well, what's the opposite?
Before it goes to Kansas.
Okay.
Before it goes, yeah, that's right. It's
other
confusing.
way around.
Yeah, that's my guess. Is that it's some sort of tourism company that's doing it there, and it's come visit where you can get to the Ozarks from here. It's relatively close. But that's the one I'm curious about. I mean, Raiola year 2, Matt Rule has to take full advantage of this. I mean, I don't know if there's the circumstances for them to land a 5-star quarterback again are slim and none. This kid's a legacy, so they have got to make some hay in the 3 years that he's here.
Speaking of Matt Rule, did you guys see that he has started his own podcast and all of the proceeds from it, any money they make off of it, is going to the Nebraska NIL?
Smart.
Okay, that's a good idea. My initial thought was we don't need more podcasts, guys.
No, but I think you're going to have to be creative with all of these things going forward. I think the thing that people will realize with a coach's podcast, unless he does it different, if he shows all the warts and he tells the real truth, then I think you're onto something. But there's a reason it's called coach speak. So, coaches typically aren't that forthcoming when it comes to these type of platforms. But if he is, then I think it'll be great. But this is fun. I mean, this is a fun slate of games, and I'll be paying attention to this. I love the fact I've always loved the first Thursday. I've liked when we've played on this one, first Thursday going into Labor Day. I don't like this on no Friday. Stay out of that. But I like the Thursday from time to time as kind of an opener. I think it's fun. It kind of gives you a mini bye on the way out. I'm for all of those things, so I'll be locked into those. Luke's got a lot of pressure in Wisconsin too.
I'm just looking at that. That is a huge line. Like, man, I mean, I remember Wisconsin was always a team to deal with. What has happened to them in the last 5 years is just. I did not see that coming. I thought Wisconsin was going to keep this humming along at what they were because they kind of did it after Barry Alvarez and without him. And they're just 17.5 for a Miami team that, they're good, but I don't think they're great. Like, that's a big number.
The Wisconsin thing's pretty fascinating. I mean, I think in one part they benefited tremendously from the Big Ten divisions. And they really made hay on that as being like the Big Ten West representative. And there was a thing for them to play for. When that went away, I think that hurt them. I think a couple other things like the Alvarez rise, it kind of also coincided with Michigan taking a little bit of a downturn. That happened. It's funny that you say Alvarez because to me, I understand he's the godfather of it all, but I thought like the most chesty they were was Bielema. When he was there, that's when it felt like they really believed in who they were. And when he took the job at Arkansas, they just never were able to get back. And I mean, they had a lot of juice, and then you absolutely took it all away from them in the 2014 Big Ten championship game. And then that coach bolted. He went back to Utah State. He's like, I'm good. I want no part. Or was it Oregon State?
I think it was Oregon State.
He went back to Oregon State. Is that what he did? But he's like, I don't want any of that. Urban chased him out of the Big Ten entirely. Luke. We were all shocked he took the job. I was shocked he took this job. I think Wisconsin is a very difficult job to accomplish the things that I think Luke wants to accomplish. Like, it's hard for me to see if you were building Wisconsin, how would you do it? Obviously, you'd build it up front. I mean, I would think you go back to identity and try to get backs and power backs. It actually might work now as everybody's rosters have gotten smaller for spread. Maybe it would work now. But he punted on all of that.
Yeah,
he wanted to go spread with Phil Longo, Reese.
I'm big beefy boys and big beefy backs, and I'm telling you exactly where I'm running the football, and good luck.
And I think they're trying to revert back to that a little bit. Maybe not exactly that, but they're slowly heading in that direction again.
Boy, that feels like that never works. So we're going to pivot. Okay, but now we're going to pivot back to where we shouldn't have pivoted in the first place.
Ask Nebraska. They did it. They tried going spread. Fired Solich, and it's been 20 years trying to find their way back from it. Are either of these Ohio Major League Baseball teams, you got a minute.
Oh, no, it's curtains for the Guardians.
What's that sport? Okay. What is that?
Yeah, we're done. College football season. Stop talking about baseball.
The Reds were the only team that hadn't been swept. They've been swept now.
What a strange waste of time you've done. Oh, but Ohtani was really good last night. struck out 9, had a hit.
In the update. Like, it's just crazy when you say that stuff out loud. Like, got the win, struck out 9, had a hit, and it's like, wait, this is really
one
happening.
person.
He's really doing100 years of nobody doing it since Babe Ruth, he's really doing it.
Take that, Scotty Scheffler.
Take that, indeed. We'll open up the mailbag coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Just when you thought afternoons couldn't get any dumber.
You fellas been doing a bit of boozing, have you?
Common Man and Timmy.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
Your home for dumb. The Fan.
Dumber, you're kind of hero.
Busy schedule? This is Ryan Krieger, and Krieger Ford has you covered. Krieger Ford offers pickup and delivery, or our mobile service van will come right to you. It's fast, easy, and hassle-free. Schedule your appointment today only at KriegerFord.com.
Right now in Washington, there's a fight going on to make life more affordable and bring back American jobs. Some play politics, and some want to get things done. Senator John Husted is cutting through the noise, putting Ohio first. The new tax bill delivers for working families and helps small businesses hire and grow right here in Ohio. Tell John Husted, keep fighting for Ohio families and small businesses. Paid for by Senate Opportunity Fund.
One of the things I had decided when I started the company was we were going to build the best window possible. We were going to give the best service possible, and I think we've accomplished that. Our reputation is built on taking care of people and building a great window and then taking care of it afterwards. It's just a darn good window.
See for yourself. Visit RosatiWindows.com.
Road trip! This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio.
Right now, save up to $404 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.
Common Man and Timmy here for the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino.
Mikey, it's time for the ultimate fan experience. You could win tickets to the big home team game.
Legal?
Oh, legal.
Oh, illegal.
Legal. Against a team that wears orange on August 30th.
It all goes down Thursday, August 28th from 6 to 7. All you have to do is use your Penn Play card or the Penn Play app during the month of August.
And you can win a bunch of other prizes as well. The more you play, the more opportunities you have to win.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambler.
We could tell you what makes Giant Eagle special, but we think our customers say it best.
I love the fresh produce. I love the fresh meat.
I'm pretty sure the fish guy knows me by now. We're buds.
I love to grill. That alone keeps me coming back.
The people that work here are so nice and so helpful.
Everybody loves the cakes from Giant Eagle.
On every shelf, in every department, we're always going for better because being your Giant Eagle matters.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
This is my Giant Eagle.
Stories like this are really who we are. Hi, it's Steve Lindsay with Lindsay Honda. One of my son's coaches was having an issue with his transmission in his Honda. He had gotten quoted almost $9,000. He's like, can you help me out on the price on getting one through your Honda dealership? And I said, yeah. I said, but let's bring the vehicle in and let's make sure you, in fact, do need a transmission. We did a complete flush on his transmission and a software update on it, and that fixed his problem. And this guy has an extra $8,500 in his pocket because he reached out and I was able to connect him with my staff. We're going to take a step back and to make sure we're actually treating the core issue, not just the symptom.
This month at Lindsay Honda, our famous Cash for Clunkers continues during our Honda Summer event. Get up to $3,500 minimum for your trade and use it for a down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash. Only at Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store.
Dormar, you're kind of hero.
When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the tin man.
Your fantasy draft is here. The Smack Talk is starting, and this season, ESPN Bet is giving you more ways to ride with your squad. Introducing ESPN Bet Fan Center, where you can instantly link and bet on your fantasy teams right in the ESPN Bet app. An enhanced sports betting experience only from ESPN Bet, the sports book for sports fans. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. 4 Big Ten teams are in action Thursday as we kick off week 1 of the college football season. At 6 p.m., Rutgers hosts Ohio University. At 8 o'clock in Minnesota, the Golden Gophers host the Buffalo Bulls. At 9 p.m., Nebraska plays Cincinnati at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Same time in Madison, Wisconsin hosts Miami of Ohio. High noon Saturday, number 3 Ohio State has number 1 Texas. Buckeyes are a 1.5 favorite in this one. You'll hear from Ohio State's head coach today at noon on the Ryan Day radio show. In the NFL, the Steelers placed quarterback Will Howard on injured reserve earlier today. Howard initially made Pittsburgh's 53, but a broken bone in his throwing hands had him out since training camp. He could return at some point in the season. Steelers open things next Sunday, taking on the New York Jets. This update sponsored by Whiskey War by High Bank Distillery. Drink local, drink High Bank.
The final season of Yellowstone might just be Bo's dad live on YouTube. What's the difference anyway? This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, second hour on a Thursday. Time to open up that mailbag. Hit it, fellas.
Our comment box is always open. Any feedback is mostly appreciated.
The mail never stops. It just keeps coming and coming and coming. There's never a let-up. It's relentless. Every day it piles up more and more and more, and you got to get it up. And the more you get out, the more it keeps coming in. Again.
Bishop and Friends present emails.
All right, let's kick it off with our buddy Scott, one of the best in the business. The subject is 3 things, so he clearly gets the show. Hey, Bo, 3 things. The 90s Cowboys held their training camp in Austin during my college years. Netflix could do 100 hours, and it wouldn't be enough to tell the story. Charles Haley isn't kidding when he said Jerry will just walk up to you and start going off. He'd see me and my buddies in a bar, walk up to us unsolicited, show us his rings, and talk football. I can't imagine the mayors of the Roonies doing that. And finally, when people ask some of the sites I've been in my travels, I say Rome has the Colosseum, Dubai has the Burj Khalifa, and we in Ohio have Halle Berry. Having seen her in person, I can assure you she isn't just Ohio's finest. Solid. Very solid email out of him.
But we had a guy that used to sponsor our softball team.
Yeah.
And he owned a check cashing place before those. You could make a lot of money off those before they kind of changed the rules on those. Mm-hmm. And we'd always be out, and he'd love showing off his money, right? He'd buy everything. He'd be like, I got all this. And then he'd always want to do Jaeger bombs. And he would be like, hey, he'd start flexing his muscle and be like, hey, hit me. Go ahead and hit me.
Yeah, that's.
And I feel like that's going out with Jerry Jones and
Jerry.
drinking. That's going out with Jerry. And, hey, come on, hit me.
Come on,
hit me.
Yeah. I think Jerry comes off very well in the Cowboys talk. Very, very well. This one from Kenny. One worse drop than Mark Andrews. Hey, guys, while I agree the drop Mark Andrews had in the playoffs last year was horrific, take a look at the tight end for the Dallas Cowboys. Jackie Smith's touchdown drop in the end zone versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. 1979, Super Bowl 13. Dallas loses the Super Bowl 35-31. The drop cost them a chance to tie. They ended up kicking a field goal. That one is very, like I could see him laying on the ground. I remember that one from the NFL film stuff when I was a kid.
So that one's the worst ever.
Yeah.
But this one's up there. Because I still believe if Andrews, holds that in and the Ravens go on to win that game, they give Philadelphia a better run in the Super Bowl than Kansas City Chiefs did.
Well, they would have to beat Kansas City too, but yes. Yeah.
I can tell you, I've never heard of Jackie Smith, and Mark Andrews is like one of the best tight ends of our time. Like, that's still stupefying that he dropped that pass. Just right in his hands.
Matthew, with this one, loved the show. A few thoughts. He really appreciates our show. We thank him for that. He's a big fan of you, Bake, so he's a fan of that. You've been a great addition.
I'm a big fan of him, too.
All right, he's got some few topics. Here's on the Big Ten independence. I'm 100% with you on this. The Big Ten doesn't do anything for Ohio State football. If it's all about money, then let the Buckeyes go independent. Keep the TV money for themselves. Tell Tony Petitti and Fox to pound sand. I do think Ohio State's could do that. I remember saying that when they launched the Longhorn Network, that you could do that in Ohio. If you wanted to, you could. It's just a matter of, do you want to go all the way down that road when you have 36 varsity sports? That's the thing that was always kind of the hang-up on it, is the scheduling of the rest of it. Pro sports on TV. Totally agree with you guys. With most pro sports need to be on regular TV. Grew up watching the Cubs on WGN, and that's how I became a Cubs fan in Columbus. When I got the MLB Network as an adult, I canceled it because they blacked out the Cubs whenever they played Cincinnati or Pittsburgh. What's the point of paying for it? Meanwhile, my youngest, he's 10, plays travel ball, won't even sit and watch a baseball game on TV. Tell me about it. I know that for sure. The one thing I will say, though, is regular TV isn't WGN. That's cable. So that's not over the air. That's old cable. Weddings in Ohio State football. You guys were talking about this recently. I've got a good one. I got married September 27th, 2008. Yep, a Saturday. Ohio State versus Minnesota. It was homecoming. My wife embraced it. We had the game on during the reception on a projector. She even had Buckeye necklaces made for everyone as small gifts at their seat. It ended up being like a giant Buckeye party. The game was just on in the background. No one was huddled around a TV. And now every year our anniversary gives us the perfect excuse to include an Ohio State game in our weekend getaway plans if we want. Thanks again for the stories. He also wants a side podcast of me and Dom just telling stories. So I'll talk to Dommy about that.
Hopefully they're heading to Washington this year. That's on their anniversary.
Be perfect. Yeah, be perfect. It does help that it's Minnesota. Good job out of you and your bride for embracing it. If you're going to do it, that's the way to do it. And I do think the quality of the Buckeye game matters, right? This one about from Zach on the Portnoy drama TV contract. Hey, Bo, a couple things on the Dave Portnoy not ban. When I first heard it, I thought also that it didn't sound like something Ohio State would do, but then also he's now officially a booster for our biggest rival that's been cheating for 3 or 4 years. Why would they let him on the field? Hopefully the last time we have to talk about the TV contract, at least until next offseason. Wasn't there language in that said every team has to be on every time frame station, meaning Big Noon, 3:30 CBS, 7:30 NBC, Peacock, and BTN? But I never see Rutgers or Purdue or even Nebraska in Big Noon. Why does Ohio State have more games on Peacock and BTN if we aren't holding everyone to the same things? Well, you do see Purdue, Rutgers, and Nebraska in Big Noon. They just happen to be on Big Noon when they're playing Ohio State or they're playing Michigan. That's when those games happen. I don't know if that rule is still in place with every game has to play or every team has to play in every window. I'm not sure if that's still the case once you added the 4 teams from the West. We'd have to get the MIT kids to look into that. I don't know if that was the case when it first launched, but then you had the 4 teams in the West, and I don't know how you could do that then. Just too many teams.
Yeah, I think that's one of those questions. If you ask somebody who should know, they'd give you a shrug emoji.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure on that. But you do, like Nebraska here last year was Big Noon. So Nebraska was in the window. It just wasn't in. And Nebraska does their fair share of Big Noon. They still rate. The brand's big enough that it rates. You're never going to see Rutgers Purdue in Big Noon. But you'll see Rutgers against us or Rutgers against Michigan in Big Noon. You'll see right for sure. But you'll see Purdue, Penn State, Big Noon. They'll do something like that. They won't do it between those two. This one from our buddy Greg from Botkins. Christmas has come early. As a man that is 48, this is absolutely glorious to have a matchup like this instead of Akron or Western Kentucky. Tomorrow I'll be making a boys' trip into Columbus. This will be my 5th trip through Indiana to Ohio in the last few months. And it seems the only freeway in Indiana that doesn't have potholes is Indianapolis Motor Speedway. I can agree with you on that. It's absolutely awful. I can't wait to share Saturday with my boys and think this might be a once-in-a-lifetime experience. If you fellas have any early memories of going to big games like this, will you fellas be attending the game on Saturday? Keep up the good work. First time I was ever at anything like this was in Tallahassee. It was Florida State, Miami. I'd been to the stadium before, but I'd never seen it like in the game, in a game-type situation. Only been there when it was empty or for scrimmages and stuff. And I remember the way that you could walk into Doak Campbell Stadium and our television station at the time, you could park like right outside the gate. So I would drive, our photographer would drive the news vehicle over the curb and park in the grass right outside one of the end zone entrances. And so to walk in, like you can hear the buzz and all of it, which is why I think big game on campus is the coolest thing in all the sports. So all of that was there, but then you kind of would walk out these doors and you'd walk right into the end zone. So, like, the place was packed, jamming, Florida State, Miami at the time when that really, really mattered. And you flung open the doors, and it was like, here's 86,000, let's go. And it was absolutely, that's the first one of these type of games that I can recall.
I remember, as a kid going to games in Ohio Stadium that still had the track. And just walking from Upper Arlington. It's an indelible fall image coming up on the Olentangy River and crossing it with, I don't know, several thousand of your closest scarlet and gray friends. Did the Michigan game in 2007, I want to say, when Vernon Golston lived in Michigan's backfield? And that was pretty big. I hated the big house because it was a hole in the ground that they just packed people into.
Yeah.
So I think if you're Top Gun Teddy, or if you're Michigan and you ever want to do something on that stadium, you have Top Gun Teddy drop a payload into the ground and figure out a stadium above, guys.
I have never been to an Ohio State game of near this magnitude. Like, I remember going to spring games when I was young. I remember the track. I remember the old AstroTurf, even going to spring games for that and whatnot. But never a game anywhere close to this magnitude for me.
The only thing that we have, if you've been to the Texas game in 2005, if you obviously, when Bake came in here with Oklahoma, that one had a lot of juice to it. Some of those SC matchups
USC,
had a lot of juice. Those were big.
A Michigan game.
And those games are their own Super Bowls, so those ones have it. But no, look, guys, we've never had an opener like this. You're the defending national champs. The team you beat in the semifinals coming in here is the number one team in the country, and the most famous quarterback recruit maybe in the history of college football is quarterbacking them. Like, all of that's happening. By the way, your quarterback, who was the number one quarterback in his class, is making his first start in his second year on campus. Other than that, no big deal. Here's this one from Bradley. Stop me if you heard this. I have many friends who coach high school ball in both Ohio and Indiana. I keep up with as many as I can. Well, I had one that told me an interesting story. At a scrimmage, there was a man who was asked to leave the scrimmage. The man was apparently filming the coaches and writing down the signals the team was using to call offense. Sound familiar? Even crazier, that man, Connor Stallions. My friend has yet to lie to me, but not sure if he was coaching or just scouted the game himself. Hard to believe and take it all with a grain of salt. At this point, I hope it's true. Have a good one. Go Bucks. If that was Stallions,
he's a psycho.
Like
that's psychotic. That's not dedication. That's being a crazy person.
Like, you're scouting Division III Indiana football and recording signals? What are we doing? That's true.
As someone who's been to quite a few high school practices, and some of the schools I've been to a lot, some of those schools for years there, they knew who I was because I covered them weekly. Almost always, if you're out there, and a lot of them, there's other sports going on, and there's other coaches around and cheerleaders and whatnot as they're practicing too. Almost always, though, if you're out there, someone is going to come up within the first 10 to 15 minutes and say, hey, what are you doing here? Who are you here to see? They're usually pretty on top of that.
They're right on it. Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely it. We got to come up with a nickname for our buddy Bill, who is hates the show but listens a lot and sends a lot of emails and is quick to always talk about how Ohio State's going to struggle this year. I'm open to either Wild Bill Hickok or Billy the Kid. I'll do either one. But Bill writes, reality is here. His message, 8-4 at best. You'll all be saying in November, we lost to Michigan again, but if only we had won the Texas game. Bill, never change. Never change. Please.
Is Bill actually Heron from the YouTube chat? Are they the same person?
Might be the same guy. He's got an OSU in his email, though, so I don't know. He's maybe self-loathing. I'm not sure. We'll preview the ACC, give you our picks to win that conference, and how many of the ACC get into the playoff. We'll give you our picks on that coming up next. Paul Finebaum in 16 minutes. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Big voice guy here to remind you that you're listening to The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Okay, thanks. I have 3 more seconds. Bye-bye.
Are you ready for the ultimate entertainment experience? It's all here, only with Spectrum TV Select. Popular apps are included: Disney Plus, Max, Peacock Premium, Paramount Plus, AMC Plus, and more. And live TV for sports, entertainment, and news. Enjoy across your devices no matter when or where you are. Get Spectrum TV Select and start streaming your favorites today. It's all here. Visit spectrum.com/entertainment. Restrictions apply.
Care Heating and Cooling. When you need a company you can trust, call 1-800-COOLING.
Make your long summer holiday weekend a good deal better by stocking up on your favorites during the Buy 5, Save 5 sale at Meijer. Buy 5 or more and save $5 or more when you mix or match over 2,000 items store-wide, like Meijer shredded or chunk cheese, 24 packs of select Coca-Cola and Pepsi products, plus deposit where applicable, Brawny paper towels and Dixie Family Pack paper plates and bowls. The Buy 5, Save 5 deals at Meijer. That's the good life, a good deal better. Exclusions apply. See all deals in the Meijer app.
Ben Sattler, Assistant Vice President, Commercial Lending, on what makes First Bank of Central Ohio successful.
What we do as a community bank is really, listening to, that company, finding the solutions that best need their business and is not just a universal product that you could get anywhere else.
Experience what it's like to be first at First Bank of Central Ohio. Visit fbcentralohio.com for more details. Member FDIC, an equal housing lender.
The dog days are the best days to save at Coughlin Kia, Central Ohio's largest volume Kia dealer. Get 0% financing on any new Kia EV, Sportage, or Sorrento, or 1.9% on a new 25 Seltos or K5. Visit CoughlinKia.com.
Based on January to December 2024 retail sales at all 4 locations. 0% for 48 months equals $20.83 per 1,000 finance. 1.9% for 48 months equals $21.65 per 1,000 finance. All manufacturer incentives to dealer. Prior sales excluded. Dealer financing required. Residency restrictions may apply. See dealer for details. Ends 9/2/25.
Outdoor Inn, where your tailgate begins. Open at 6 a.m. on game day. Be one of the first 100 through the door and score a limited edition Outdoor Inn shirt. 3 generations of fans have signed their walls. With the biggest bar, best patios, and great music. It's the #1 game day tradition. Follow them on social for details. Outdoor Inn, the legendary bar on High and Framby since 1969.
At Baths R Us, we believe home improvement is life improvement, and that starts with the team who brings your vision to life. Our installers aren't just skilled, they're experts.
This is who we are. This is what we do all day, every day.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement, or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel. Plus, low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate, or go to bathsrus.com. 380-225-2284. Baths R Us, where dreams soak in.
Rothman and Ice.
Your front office has the ability to maneuver these numbers around. Cap space is a thing, but sometimes the way it looks on paper, it's not as concrete as it may seem.
Rothman and Ice. Weekdays at noon.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus.
The Fan.
Got a teen athlete? Then you know putting in the hours is all part of the game. But did you know the same goes for learning how to drive? Because just like playing a sport, learning to drive takes practice. The only difference is the stakes are even higher. 50 hours of practice time driving with you? Worth every minute. Gear up at teachyourteentodrive.ohio.gov.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to increased personal enjoyment. Prevent winter tree damage by scheduling winter tree work now. Winter can be tough on trees. Heavy snow, ice, and wind can cause serious damage. Don't wait until it's too late. Now is the perfect time to schedule winter tree work. Pruning during the dormant season keeps your trees healthy and helps prevent costly storm damage. Visit trees4ohio.org to find a qualified arborist near you. That's trees4ohio.org. Let's keep your trees strong all winter long.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Make sure you have your umbrella and sunglasses. We'll have some chances of showers earlier in the afternoon, with clouds increasing and then some sun here and there throughout the day, and highs in the mid to low 70s. Overnight, partly cloudy with lows in the mid 50s, with patchy fog developing for Friday morning. But don't worry, the sun will come out later in the day, with highs getting into the mid 70s. For The Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 Weather Impact Forecast.
T-Bone and Tybus are everything you want in a delicious breakfast. Lots of empty calories, no nutritional value.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan. Distilled sports discussion served in light beer quantities. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Indeed you are, and we are brought to you and sponsored by our great friends at Diamond Cellar, your true jeweler, for over 78 years. It snuck up on us, guys, but it occurred to me as we were putting this together today that we have not made our official picks on college football. So we'll do our 12-team playoff tomorrow. We will do the SEC and Big Ten previews tomorrow on the show. Today we will do the ACC and the Big 12. We'll do the Heisman picks tomorrow and all of that stuff. But we'll handle the ACC and Big 12 picks today. today, hit a couple of categories on them, and have a little fun with these teams. I'll tell you one thing, guys. It was interesting. I was going through ACC and Big 12 this morning, and then I started to put them in a 12-team bracket. And it's amazing how freeing it is when you aren't locked into the highest-ranked conference champions get the 4 byes. I mean, I think that's going to be a massive change to this thing. And I think it's going to lead to much better games and, honestly, a more right path. I mean, it was absurd that Oregon had the path they had, that was what was delivered to them, is to have to play Ohio State after being the number 1 team in the country. So, all right, let's do it with the ACC. We'll hit a few categories on the Atlantic Coast Conference. Your sleeper team in the ACC, Bake?
I've got Georgia Tech. I think Brent Key has done a good job there. They have a good quarterback in Haynes King, a good running back in Jamal Haynes. And I just like the direction they're going in. I wouldn't be surprised if we looked at the ACC this year and we find Georgia Tech sitting there in the top 3.
So I also have to start making you not go first all the time.
Okay.
Oh, well, okay, you have it too. I'm just going to pivot because, Georgia Tech's got 2 ranked opponents on the schedule, and it feels the rest of it navigable. They open, again, like Baker said, against Colorado. How about North Carolina?
Oh, baby.
Why not? Let's have some fun this season. Because if they start out and they beat TCU and they become a little bit of a darling with a number next to their name, going into that week, 5 matchup against Clemson, Jordan Hudson's back.
Oh, she's back. They're trying to, did I see this? They're trying to get something on Gold Digger, a copyright on Gold Digger.
They applied for a trademark.
Yeah, I heard that.
That's fun.
Know who you are.
Somebody in the YouTube chat earlier asked who gets shown more on TV this weekend, McConaughey at Ohio Stadium or Jordan Hudson?
McConaughey, because I think North Carolina learned. I think they're going to have her in the bowels.
Feels like a booth. Type
booth in a corner.
Yeah, McConaughey's going to be on the field acting like he's the damn defensive coordinator.
He is.
Riding Bivo shirtless.
I like Georgia Tech, too. I just would say, I don't know if they're sleepery. I just have a hard time believing Florida State's not going to bounce back in some way. They get Castellanos from Boston College to come in at quarterback. They are loaded with old veteran guys, a lot of transfers. Basically, their whole roster on offense is that. I just think Mike Norvell didn't forget how to coach, so maybe a little bit of a bounce back there. Coach on the hot seat.
This may sound crazy, but Bill Belichick. I think North Carolina has already, like you mentioned, they've kind of put the kibosh on Jordan Hudson. I don't think they liked any of that and any of that negative publicity that they got earlier this year with her and him. And I don't think they realized how just involved she was going to be in things. Listen, Belichick may turn this around, but it could also go off the rails. And if it goes off the rails, I don't think they want to deal with it.
I like that one.
It's Mario Cristobal. Miami and their boosters have thrown around so much money. And it feels like if this guy, they're 10th to start the season, and if they fall on their face because of another coaching mistake by Mario, I think it just gets too hot for him. I saw a report, I don't know if it was true or not, but it sounded good. It sounded hilarious that he was going to be the head coach up in the box this season. I don't think that's the case. I think that was debunked very quickly, but still pretty funny and kind of encapsulates how wacky it is for Miami, especially week 1 on national television. Can't get embarrassed in that one, Mario.
No, I like both of your guys' picks. I think Norvell, despite me thinking FSU is going to bounce back, could be a pick, but also there's no way they can buy out his contract. This is not a hot seat, but I do think that there is a, if not now, when issue with Dabo. He better win the ACC this year. He's got the best team by far. And he might not have it like this again. This might be kind of the last of his run. He's got 2 national titles. It's hard to imagine them being as organized as they need to be in NIL going forward. So, to me, this might be his last shot at that big natty. So, it's not hot seat, but I do think there's a little bit of pressure on him to take advantage of the roster that he has and the schedule that he has. Player of the year in the ACC, Big.
There's a lot of reasons I feel like Clemson is the favorite to win the national championship this year. And one of them is Cade Klubnik. We talked about Julian Saint and Arch Manning being the number 1 quarterbacks in their class. Cade Klubnik was the number 1 in his in 2022. Yep. And this guy put up Heisman-type numbers last year. 3,600 yards, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I think he has a monster year for Clemson.
Yeah, Klubnik's probably the right choice. I mean, Thomas Castellanos for Florida State did so much talking. Feels like the only way you could properly back up what he did was to beat Alabama. And if that is the case, then he'd likely win Player of the Year.
If that is the case,
right.
The coach on the hot seat in the SEC.
They might fire him after that if that happens.
That might be the end of it. Look, Klubnik is the odds-on favorite. I love this. I love this Clemson operation this year. It's really set up nicely for them, and I think they'll play very well Saturday night against LSU in Death Valley. I think a little bit of sleep on Kevin Jennings and SMU because of the way it ended in Penn State. But if you go watch what he did in the second half of the Clemson game and the ACC title game, and SMU's schedule, it's kind of, I kind of feel like it's them against Miami, and they play each other this year. It's in Dallas at Gerald Ford Stadium. Like, the winner there to me feels like, which gets to our next one, the conference championship game matchup. Who do you like there, Bake?
I've got a rematch of last year. I've got Clemson and SMU in the ACC championship, and I don't think that's good for SMU.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like SMU could get beat by Clemson twice this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. That's the same matchup I have. I think it'll come down to the SMU-Miami game in Dallas. Winner there will play. I kind of wonder if I am sleeping a little bit on Carson Beck with all of this. Can a guy fall that far off the cliff from presumptive number one pick in the draft to all of a sudden he's like Bo Callahan in draft day and no one likes him and everybody can't stand him and the Cavenders say he's boring, so they dumped him. He's getting Lamborghinis stole. Did he forget how to play football? How could we all be so wrong about it? So I am paying attention to that part of it. Go ahead.
I think everyone's sleeping on him a little bit.
Feels like it. It's just no conversation around them at all. So, that's something to pay attention to. But I think SMU is still very, very good. They're just, to me, not on the level of Clemson. And it'd be something if their first 2 years in the league, they play for the championship and are getting no money from the league. So it would be a wild thing if they pull that off. Who wins this league? And then more importantly, perhaps, how many ACC teams make the 12-team playoff thing?
So I think Clemson wins the ACC. And I mentioned that SMU getting to the ACC championship was bad for them.
Yeah.
That's because I think Miami sits there without another loss, and I think they sneak in to the back end of the college football playoff.
So you're saying Miami's going to lose to Notre Dame. They're going to lose to SMU in the regular season, but win the rest. And so SMU will lose to Clemson, maybe lose, and then that second loss to Clemson would keep them out.
That's what I think.
So I think SMU beats Miami in the regular season, but I do feel like that could be the only loss for the Hurricanes. And so I think Miami gets in as one of the at-large, as does SMU, because Clemson wins the league.
Clemson, I think, lock across the board. We're all on board with Clemson as that one. It's just, I love your scenario that you kind of drew out, both of you guys, with Miami. I do think 2 from this league get in. I do think this is a two-bid league. I think
I'm kind of down on the Big 12 enough to put 3 from the ACC.
So I did mine out. I have the 12. I'll just give you the breakdown. I got 4 SEC. I've got 3 Big Tens. I got Notre Dame, 2 ACCs, 1 Big 12, and then obviously 1 group of 5 is my numerical breakdown of this. I just think the SEC
keep forgetting the group of 5 thing.
Yeah, and the SEC crowed a lot about only having 3 last year, so I think that they'll reverse engineer it to make sure they get 4 this year, and the Big Ten will have 3. Paul Finebaum, we'll ask him about all of these things and see if he really believes that this won't be close on Saturday. That's in 2 minutes. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Hi, welcome to IKEA. Hi, I'm in a whirlwind of college prep. Gotcha. We've got affordable solutions to create the perfect college living space. Great. And visit our website to see how verified college students with an IKEA family account can receive a one-time use 15% off coupon. Nice. You guys think of everything. Pretty much. Offer ends 9/30/25. Valid ID required. Discount applied proportionally across items purchased as shown on receipt. See IKEA-USA.com/ready-for-college for complete terms.
At Kroger, you never compromise. You get high quality and low prices. Like you never compromise your meal with our spring salad mix that's guaranteed fresh. And you never compromise your budget with lower prices on over 1,000 items. Hand it to Kroger shoppers. You never compromise. Kroger. fresh for everyone.
Select varieties of Kroger brand cheese are on sale. 6 to 8 ounce packs are $1.49 each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Buckeye fans, introducing Behind the O, the brand new app packed with original, athlete, and fan-driven Ohio State sports content. It's free to download in the App Store on iOS and Android, and every time you open it, you're helping generate NIL dollars for your favorite Buckeye athletes with zero cost to you. Get exclusive access to fresh behind-the-scenes videos, training routines, athlete lifestyles, and more from every Ohio State sport. Don't wait. Download Behind the O now and get closer to your Buckeyes than ever before.
Behind the O, free for fans, NIL for athletes.
Hey, it's Leslie from Pella Columbus.
And I'm Wilson from that other window place.
Wilson, I just had the greatest day today. One of our customers in Delaware literally happy cried. Her new windows just completely transformed her home. It was just magical.
Oh, so you like magic.
Well, that's not what I was saying.
Is this your card?
Wilson, you didn't even... Okay, sure. That was my card.
And magic.
Get the windows that can change the look and feel of your home at PellaColumbus.com.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Bishop and Friends present college football's most polarizing figure.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Come on back to our show, Tim. The audience hates you.
This is ESPN's Paul Finebaum, sponsored by the Roofing Guys. For all your roofing, siding, and gutter needs, contact the Roofing Guys at theroofingguys.com.
How long we've been doing this? A little over a year we've been doing this, Paul. I think that you've been joining us every Thursday at 10:30. The audience here knows it very well. So inevitably, on a Monday or Tuesday via social media, I am sent clips of things that are said by you on other platforms. And the one that I was sent a lot this week was I don't think it's going to be particularly close Saturday between Texas and Ohio State. Do you believe that it's not going to be particularly close and that this will be a burnt orange beatdown Saturday?
Did I say that, Bo? I'm sure I did. I don't think it's going to be the quintessential when you ask a pundit, what do you think? Really tough game to call, coming down to the fourth quarter. I can't do that. Not for a game that we've talked about for 9 months. I think it's 10 or more, Bo. I don't think it's going to be a 40-point game, but I think anything more than a couple of points would in my mind feel like a blowout because we all know the tail of the tape here quite well.
Yeah, these two. So 10 would be. So if 21-10 would feel not particularly close for you, then, right? Just so we're clear on the definition.
Well, yeah, just so I can back up the statement I made the other day on Get Up.
Okay. These two programs mirror each other, don't they? I mean, the way they recruit it, the amount of talent. You obviously have a lot of confidence in Texas. Where does that confidence come from?
I do think they mirror each other. I've always felt when I lived in Alabama that Ohio State and Alabama were mirror images, but I think right now Texas has moved into that real estate. Part of the reason I'm confident is Steve Sarkisian, and I'm not one that is usually gullible when somebody says something, but he has been talking about this team for a while. It started in spring and intensified in the summer. He's extremely confident of his roster. That's kind of who he is. This isn't a conservative coach. This is a gambler. Also talking to people like David Cutcliffe. Now, people are wondering, like, who's that guy? He's the former Duke coach who was Peyton Manning's OC at Tennessee. He was also Eli Manning's head coach at Ole Miss. And he has been working with Arch since he was 10. And I know that I'm hearing one side of the story. I don't hear what you hear every day about the Buckeyes. I hear enough. So, yeah, you get a little bit shaded by the burnt orange, but maybe I've been burned so many times on two schools being back, Miami and Texas. And for some reason, I believe this time at least Texas is legitimately back in the running.
Well, and the thing, too, is usually in college football, you've been around a long time, so have I. Usually if you knock on the door enough, eventually you knock it down. And that does appear to be where Texas is now. And for them to be number one, they've had a lot of losses. Buckeyes have a lot of losses. These two teams very different than the two teams that played in the national semifinal last year. And so much of that Texas belief does come from Arch Manning. how do we know he's good?
Well, we don't. And that's probably the most honest thing I've said all week in spite of all the bluster. I think we believe he is, but no idea. And by the way, what do we know about Julian Sand? I mean, in some ways, he's the forgotten guy in this game. I think he has the potential to be really good. I just feel like Arch Manning right now is probably a step or two ahead of him because of all the tape that we've seen from those 2 or 3 games, which is all the tape we have seen of him. He's very confident, bordering on cocky. He does it with a Manning swagger. But he also has a lot around him, just like Julian Sand does.
Does Sark need this one?
I don't think it's a bad idea if he wins. I mean, when you win the national championship, you don't need much, although I'm sure somebody will say in 11 or 12 weeks, you got to win this Michigan game. Right. But when you're Sark, you've come close. And I know Ohio State is the favorite, but there are a lot of people who are pretty confident of Texas winning it. So I think I'll sound like a pundit now. I think if it comes down to the final play, I don't think it would be devastating. But if they look like crap Saturday morning, that will boomerang on Sark.
Yeah, and it's interesting because we don't rarely have games like this where both of these teams, I've talked to a lot of folks from Austin this week, and we obviously know the temperature around here. A lot of people feel like, hey, man, you're going to see these guys again. Pretty good odds you're going to see them again at some point. And these two teams are going to be so different if indeed that happens. If it's in December or January or whenever, they're going to be dramatically different than what we're going to see here in a little less than a little more than 50 hours. Beyond the quarterbacks, well, actually, I'm going to ask you a quarterback question on Sand because I do think that he's getting lost in this thing, and I don't know what to expect of him because while Arch has 3 years at Texas and a couple of games, 2 starts and played in games, we don't have any of that with Julian. But what we do have is the pedigree, and we do have what he meant to Nick Saban at Alabama before he came here. You obviously were around all of that very closely. What were the Alabama folks saying about Julian during that recruitment?
They were jacked up pretty high, and there were comparisons to Bryce Young from Southern Cal, other quarterbacks that have come through there. But I mean, he was going to be the next one. And when I say that, we're talking about a run of Jalen Hurts, Tunga Vailoa, Mac Jones, Bryce Young, and that circle was broken finally by Jalen Milroe being in many ways a bust. So yeah, I mean, he was going to start for a couple of years. And here's to me, from an Alabama standpoint, if Julian Sand goes out there and lights it up Saturday and the Buckeyes win and Caleb Downs does exactly what he's supposed to do, you talk about some angry Alabama fans who they will be. They're not a factor in this game, but some of their players are, and I think that's really significant.
Yeah, it's a hell of a sliding doors. Like if he just stays at Alabama, what happens in college football over the last couple of years? Because he really had it set up. Let's go to some of the other ones. Obviously, my hunch is are you at LSU Clemson? Is that where your group will be Saturday?
We actually not. And I don't know what kind of rules the Big Ten Network has, but we are not allowed to go to a road game. We only can do neutral site or home. So okay. You tell me when you start going down to what's the next best game. There are none. So we will be in Atlanta for that doubleheader of Tennessee-Syracuse, which I don't think a single person in Columbus will watch. No. It's on at the same time. And then the other game is, let me see if I can remember it, Virginia Tech and South Carolina.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's an interesting one on Saturday afternoon. Yeah. Does Brian Kelly need that one Saturday night in Death Valley? Because this team for Dabo, to me, looks like a team that maybe his last great shot to go win everything.
Brian Kelly does need it. Now, he won't be fired if he loses, although there'll be a few people who would like to see him fired. But the problem he has, in addition to all the things you've heard about them not being able to win a opening game since 2019, is that he has a loss now, and he still has a home game in 2 weeks with Florida. They may be very good. He's at Alabama. He's at Ole Miss. He deals with Oklahoma. the cushion becomes very nerve-wracking for Brian Kelly if a couple of other schools are really good. Now, I do think for either Ohio State or Texas, and I know I'm getting or LSU and Clemson. LSU, maybe not Clemson. They can probably all afford a third loss because of this opening game. Clemson can't because of the league they play in.
No, I think that's spot on, absolutely. So in the months that you've been building up to this, is there a team in the South, ACC, SEC, that we're not talking about enough? And is there a team where the bubble will burst, maybe even potentially this weekend?
I don't think LSU's bubble burst, but Tennessee could lose to Syracuse. They were. I guess I don't need to remind your audience they were a playoff team last year. It really didn't seem like it. I think not a team that matters a whole lot to anybody, but the Auburn-Baylor game is interesting just from a hot seat standpoint. Hugh Freeze loses that, and they'll be going through resumes trying to figure out who his replacement will be. But they don't play a big game this week, but they do in a couple weeks at Notre Dame, and I think Texas A&M is a team that is being vastly underrated. I think they have a chance too.
Yeah, I can't wait. I'm glad we're here. You've never had an opening weekend like this, have you, buddy? You can't remember one with this many great games.
No, I mean there have been some good ones. Back in the day, Notre Dame, Michigan was maybe a 1-2 30, 40 years ago, but there's never been there's never been two games like Clemson, LSU, and the Buckeyes game, and then I still think Notre Dame, Miami is a massive game on Sunday night.
I agree with you. I think you're loaded up. Enjoy it. This is what we do it all for. It's great talking to you as always, buddy. We'll do it again next week.
Thanks, Bo. Enjoyed it very much.
There you go. The great Paul Finebaum, the Paul Finebaum Show, ESPN, and the SEC Network on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We'll do a little thing or not a thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
You've still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
Out our Inn, the legendary bar on High and Framby since 1969 is open at 6 a.m. on game day. Be one of the first 100 through the door and score a limited edition Out Our Inn shirt. 3 generations of fans have signed their walls. Out Our Inn, with the biggest bar, best patios, and great music. It's the #1 game day tradition. Follow them on social for details. Out Our Inn, where the title defense begins.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day. The kitchen drain has had enough. The toilet's called it quits. Drains are clogged throughout the house. I'm gonna throw a fit.
Clogged drain, no problem. It's 93 or free. I'll clear any drain or you don't pay with a 1-year guarantee.
It's 93 or free. Guaranteed.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Is your money just lying around? Switch to Huntington Bank, and your money's always doing something. Like auto saving for special events, tracking your teen spending, and helping protect your parents from fraud. Let's get more from money. Switch to Huntington Bank. Welcome. Eligibility requirements apply. Some features may require enrollment.
Hi, I'm Joanna Williams, General Manager at Tansky Sawmill Toyota. Is it time for a new or used car? Visit Tansky Sawmill Toyota on the corner of Sawmill and 161, home of the Tansky Promise, where our salespeople aren't paid on commission. We have a 72-hour exchange policy, and every transaction is upfront and transparent. You can even start the process at home. Visit TanskySawmillToyota.com to start your purchase today and to see all of this month's specials. And when you think Toyota, think Tansky.
Delaware County Veterans Services is ready to help you access VA benefits, emergency financial assistance, dental and medical grants, transportation, and more. Give Delaware County Veterans Services a call, 740-833-2010 to schedule an appointment.
Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Join our resident gambling degenerates Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas for On the Money Sunday morning at 9.
Presented by ESPN Bet at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
All the action, none of the responsibility. The Fan.
You know, it's not the shoes. It's what you can put in them that makes all the difference. Hey, it's Anthony. I've been a customer at the Good Feet store for a while now, and I'm all about my personally fit arch supports. They support my feet better than all the insoles I've jammed into my shoes over the years. And my Good Feet arch supports help me in a ton of ways, from overall support and balance to stabilizing my heels, and the fact they distribute my body weight, especially when I'm golfing. I literally have spring in my step now. Check them out for yourself. The free fitting is designed to help them understand you, your pain, and your discomfort. It's simple. Just stop by the Good Feet store on Polaris Parkway or Stringtown Road in Grove City. You don't need an appointment, but you can certainly schedule one very easily online. Get back to living the life you love with the Good Feet store. For more than 30 years, they've taken great pleasure in helping thousands discover the comfort they've been dreaming of, just like me. Get professionally fitted at goodfeet.com.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing on a Thursday edition. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Billiards Plus. Find your next grill and everything you need for the master griller. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
All right, North Carolina is going to begin the Bill Belichick era, hosting TCU Monday night at 8 o'clock. Brian Fisher covers college football for Sports Illustrated and said that UNC officially has 70 new players on their 2025 roster, 40 transfers, and 30 true freshmen. Thing or not a thing?
70 of 85?
Yeah.
Wow. It's a massive number. I think, some of it is what college football is. I think they're in for a very difficult year. I just really do. I didn't see him crush it portal-wise. I didn't see him crush it recruit-wise. I think they're in for a brutal year. It could be wrong. Feel like they are. That amount of transfers and 30 true freshmen is nuts to have that many in the mix. 40 transfers is also nuts. Remember with Deion at Colorado, and he had the best player in college football last year, and he had an NFL quarterback in his son. Year one was rough when he had that type of influx of new talent. It was year two that they got it going. So if Bill can have some momentum at the end, then I think it's going to be something. But I think this is a big thing in terms of their roster makeup. And to me, it leads me to believe this is going to be a bit of a struggle. Also, my God, Mac Brown, was the cupboard completely empty? Or could you not convince guys to stay? Like, how does Bo Atkinson get out of there? Like, make sure he stays.
So I think this is a thing, and I love that you brought up Deion in Colorado, right? And listen, Colorado was a much worse football team than North Carolina. They had one win when Deion was coming in, and he totally overhauled things. Now, he probably upgraded the talent. I don't know if they've upgraded the talent here in North Carolina. This team was 6-7 last year. I just don't think this is a way to build a program, right? Now, maybe this is just the beginning, and he's getting his guys in there, getting the old guys out, getting the new in, and that's a lot of freshmen coming in. You'd have to think maybe some of those are going to contribute, but not all. I think this is a huge thing because I do not think I think people that think North Carolina are going to be better this year are wrong. I do not think they will be better.
Speaking of those North Carolina Tar Heels, On Three's Brett McMurphy joined Ari Wasserman and Andy Staples on their discussion of Big Ten and SEC expansion.
I don't know about you guys. I was surprised he didn't say 24 because I think that kind of what Andy laid out. I think we're going to be 20 or 24 with the SEC and the Big Ten. The question is, what is going on with the Big 12 and the ACC, and are they going to be allowed to be part of that group. I think it's very clear. Andy, you want to speculate recklessly about who it'll be? Look, after I reported that this morning, I immediately got a text from someone within the SEC and basically said what I've been thinking, and that is North Carolina and Virginia will be highly contested between both conferences.
Thing or not a thing?
Well, I say that all the time with North Carolina. Here's the thing you have to remember. Presidents are still making these decisions, and presidents want the feather in the cap that they have the elite academic institutions. So that's where that comes from. We do care about, we didn't go for the easy football brands. We're going for academia. And Virginia and North Carolina are two of the best public schools in the country. So that's why I've been telling you, we've talked about that for years with North Carolina and them being a fist fight. And I've heard North Carolina, Virginia from Big Ten people for the better part of the last half decade. The thing that I think is most interesting here, first of all, and I think, by the way, that would be very short-sighted because television partners don't care about academia at all. And it isn't about cable buy anymore. It doesn't matter if you're in certain parts of the country. It matters if you have good football brands. That's what matters. So if you're going to go into the South and you're the Big Ten, then damn it, go get the football brands. Cable buy's over. It's about television shows that are produced by great teams. And so that is kind of on that. To me, the 24 is the number. That's the sweet spot. And I think you need to buttress the west side of this conference as well. And if that means bringing Stanford and Cal into the mix from the ACC and get yourself a West division of this thing, I think that would all be great. But to me, it's 24, not 20. Because adding those two in the South, to me, that doesn't do anything from your television production. That doesn't create two more television shows that you're going to have to pay more for.
I do not understand the Virginia argument at all, other than it's closer geographically, which we obviously don't care about. I don't know if
you know this, Bake. Thomas Jefferson designed part of the campus.
Congratulations. When's the last time they were good at football?
When's the last time Thomas Jefferson recruited football players?
Because that's what, we've already proven. That's what this is about. It's about football. It's about the best football programs. I don't think Virginia's there. I don't know if Virginia's getting back to there. I don't get this. In the same thing, this same podcast, they talked about Notre Dame, and Notre Dame's not going anywhere. These conferences with doing all this, they need to play hardball and say that's enough. Notre Dame, you're done. You're not going to do this anymore. You're joining. You're going to make a decision. You're going to join one or the other, or you're left out of the party.
Yeah, I do think the language around Notre Dame should be conferences should force them to join a conference. No longer, well, Notre Dame should join a conference. They have no incentive to. The other conferences have to give them that incentive.
Just say you're out. We're not saving a spot for you. There's no seat at the table for you anymore.
You either do that or you just say we're not going to play you.
Yeah. You just say
those two things.
You were off the schedule, sir.
Yeah, we're not playing you. Sorry. Enjoy playing Wake Forest, Boston College.
On the most recent episode of the Post Moves podcast, South Carolina women's basketball coach Dawn Staley says she could have been the next head coach of the New York Knicks.
I interviewed for the Knicks. I did. It was the same interview that everybody else that was in their candidate pool. Same thing. Went in. I mean, it was like hours, but in the interview, I thought I did pretty well. I was well prepared for the interview, right? If the Knicks would have offered me the job, I would have had to do it, okay? Not just for me, it's for women, for just to break open that I would have to, and it's the New York Knicks, and I'm from Philly, but it's the freaking New York Knicks.
Thing or not a thing.
Becky Hammond had had a little bit of momentum for this when she was longtime assistant with the San Antonio Spurs. Instead, she went to the WNBA. I think this would have been really cool. I think she would have been more than fine at it. And I understand from the timing of it why she would have had. I mean, what more can she do at South Carolina? Kind of done all.
Be the next logical step, kind of.
Yeah, like it's either because there's nobody in the WNBA who can compensate her the way an NBA team, or certainly compensate her the way she's being compensated at South Carolina. So kind of the only where she could go is either to try to do what she's done at South Carolina somewhere else, which I don't know why you do that when you all that sweat equity in the program you build out of nothing, or do something like this. So would have been cool to see it. Totally get them interviewing her. She's an incredible coach. And I'm sure at some point something like this will happen.
That's what I was going to say. I think it's a thing because we're one step closer to this happening. I think it was pretty interesting going on and listening past the answer that we heard there. Her talking about how she thinks she kind of sabotaged herself in getting the job because she asked them questions like, are you guys ready for this? Meaning the media scrutiny that's going to come, the players that might have a backlash against it or might not like it, the fans that may not like it as well. I thought it was pretty interesting just hearing her talk about the questions that she had for them about this. And she said, this can't happen until the NBA is ready for it and a team is ready for it. And she asked them those questions, and she feels like the mood changed when she asked those questions. And she said then she could kind of tell like maybe she wasn't going to get the job. But I think those were pretty forward-thinking, pretty honest questions that she asked them. And I think she's right. Like, the league has got to be ready for this.
I do think Dawn Staley would have been the perfect catalyst for something like this. James Dolan's not the right owner to have that happen. And I think that, to Baker's point, is why they kind of got a little cold when she started asking the questions. Because James Dolan, rich dude, idiot.
And is New York the right market for this? Because it's going to have a ton of scrutiny anyway. It gets that much more in New York.
It does, but I also think that there are worse markets for it than New York. I think there are worse places. I think that there'd be an open-mindedness there too. But yeah, the scrutiny would be pretty remarkable with that operation. Final hour here on a Thursday. We'll get you our Big 12 preview picks. Also, Anoir Richardson, orangebloods.com, behind enemy lines with the Horns and the Buckeyes. What matchups is he looking forward to? We kick it off a little higher or lower. Who are the top quarterbacks in college football this season? We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Catch the latest from the world of Ohio State athletics. Weeknights at 6 on the Buckeye Show. News, special guests, and everything scarlet and gray. The Fan.
Dormar, your kind of hero.
When your furnace or air conditioner is broke, we come out that same day. Dormar, home the Tin Man.
On Jackpocket, America's #1 lottery app. New customers opt in and get a free lottery ticket. Download the app and start ordering lottery tickets today. Use code VOCAL. That's code VOCAL on Jackpocket. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 18 or older. Jackpocket is a lottery courier and not affiliated with the Ohio Lottery. Opt in for $5 in non-withdrawable lottery credits that expire in 168 hours. Terms at jkpt.co/draw5.
Bet365 is paying out before the final whistle.
Check out Bet365's unrivaled early payout offer. When you bet on a team to win and they take a 17-point lead, you get paid no matter the final score. Forget the final whistle and start counting that cash. Hold up. You get early payout on parlays, too.
Download the app and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Whatever your preference, we have everything from tequila cocktails and an extensive bourbon category to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. And don't forget about our 29-degree drafts.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Imagine what it would feel like getting tackled head-on by a 240-pound linebacker. You'd be in serious pain, right? But if you're unbuckled in a car crash, at just 50 miles an hour, you become a deadly projectile that can slam into other passengers with 8 times that amount of force. Don't let someone else take the hit. Buckle up and visit buckleup.ohio.gov to learn more. Brought to you by ODOT and ODPS.
Get started on your painting project this summer and save big money at Menards. Rust-Oleum Stops Rust 5-in-1 spray paint lets you choose from 5 unique spray patterns with a twist of the dial, so you can get a professional, corrosion-resistant finish on every project. Save big money on Rust-Oleum spray paint now at Menards. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
Right now, in Washington, there's a fight going on to make life more affordable and bring back American jobs. Some play politics, and some want to get things done. Senator John Husted is cutting through the noise, putting Ohio first. The new tax bill delivers for working families and helps small businesses hire and grow right here in Ohio. Tell John Husted, keep fighting for Ohio families and small businesses. Paid for by Senate Opportunity Fund.
Cash for Clunkers continues during the Honda Summer Event at Lindsay Honda.
Listen up, Columbus. Cash for Clunkers is big money towards your next ride.
Up to $3,500 minimum for your trade.
Use it for the down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash.
Lease a new 2025 HRV two-wheel drive LX or 2026 Civic 4-door LX for just $299 a month. Zero cash down. Just bring us your clunker. Shop Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store now. For details, visit lindsayhonda.com.
Dormar, your kind of hero.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats live from the stands, and we've got a special update. Sources confirm fans using the Vivid Seats app are racking up rewards with every ticket and doing it fast. With an unbeatable lineup of seats and perks that go the distance, why use any other app for game day? Don't fumble this season. Grab your tickets through Vivid Seats, download their app, earn rewards, and as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, get $20 off your first $200 in-app purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
Coach Saban here, and let me tell you, every second matters. Preparation is everything, and that's why I trust Kidde Smoke Alarms.
And as North America's #1 home fire safety brand, they're built to respond over 25% faster to smoke detection. Kidde helps protect what matters the most. Find it at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. #1 claim based on total household installations as of December 2023. 29% faster average smoke detection based on internal testing of smoldering wood fires for Kidde 9th edition versus leading competitor 8th edition products.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. We're 2 days away from number 3 Ohio State hosting top-ranked Texas this Saturday, high noon from the Shoe. Buckeyes are 1.5 favorites in this one. We'll have live fan pregame coverage Saturday morning on campus starting at 8:30. You'll hear from Ohio State's head coach today at noon on the Ryan Day Show. Week 1 of the college football season kicks off tonight at 6 o'clock in Piscataway. Rutgers hosts Ohio University. The Scarlet Knights are one of 4 Big Ten teams in action Thursday. 9 o'clock at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Nebraska battles Cincinnati. In baseball, the Dodgers swept the Reds last night in Los Angeles. Cincinnati's back home Friday against the Cardinals. In the NFL, the Steelers put Will Howard on injured reserve earlier this morning with a broken bone in his throwing hand. The Steelers are at the New York Jets next Saturday for Week 1, while the Browns will host the Cincinnati Bengals. You can hear Browns football all season long right here on The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
We'll read your emails on the air, but we won't tell you where to send them. Hey, we're not doing all the work for you. This is Bishop and Friends.
49 hours and counting now between the Buckeyes and the Horns. I see on social Uncle Dom is trying to stir up, and he's going at people about Bivo. Why would anyone want Bivo here? I would have loved to have Bivo here. I mean, who doesn't love Bivo? Maybe not Saturday you don't love him, but like who wouldn't want to see a 2,000-pound dude come barreling down a tunnel? I'm for that. Give me Bivo.
I would love it. I would love to be walking the sidelines on Saturday and see Bivo. Get a little selfie with him.
I mean, we just did a scientific poll. 100% of respondents, or I guess 75% of respondents, think Bivo should be in Ohio Stadium Saturday.
Yeah, let's get him in there, man. I wish they could have made it. I was listening to Beam and Zwicky last night on Buckeye Show, and they were talking about that Ralphie is retired. The most recent Ralphie at Colorado is retired, and the new Ralphie doesn't want to run. And they said, like Zwick goes, well, then just get one that will run.
You can't cattle prod him. That'd be a bad look.
Daggone kids nowadays. They don't want to do anything.
Lazy millennials.
I was, as I'm listening, I'm saying to myself, well, I know something that'll make him run, because it's a her. Ralphie's a her. Yeah, cattle prod will do it. Just hold on for dear life. Like, you need a cow to go into a chute, a little shot with that, and they'll go anywhere you want them to go. All right, time for a little higher, lower on a Thursday. Hit it, Bill.
Bishop and Friends present Higher or Lower.
Sponsored by the Waterworks. Call the Waterworks and Header Heating and Cooling today at 614-232-2222 or visit online at thewaterworks.com.
No baby.
Today's higher or lower does come to us from CBS. They did some college football quarterback power rankings. And
who gets this music Saturday? Oh my God, it's Nevada, Penn State.
I don't think it's a good one.
Which, did you see CBS Sports was doing something on the game and they had the Nebraska logo up for Nevada?
Oh, what's a block N? What's the difference?
That was just the color. One's red, one's like a navy blue.
Navy blue and gray. Oh, jeez. What's the night game? Oh my God, New Mexico, Michigan is the NBC game. Boy,
you have to have Joshua Perry sit through that. Whatever his salary is this weekend, double it.
JP's there. Tyvis is at Maryland. Poor Buckeyes.
Oh gosh, that's right. Who does Maryland play? What is he doing there? Who's got Maryland this weekend? That's the BTN game?
Florida Atlantic, noon Saturday.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Oh, baby.
They would be much better off.
Playing in Boca? Yeah.
Well, they'd be much better off just taking the Big Ten tailgate show to the best Big Ten game of the week instead of worrying about promoting their game.
Yes.
They'd be much better doing it the
Ball
other
State,
way.
Purdue? Come on, big Indiana battle.
Someone to ask Tyvis this. Would he rather Florida Atlantic at Maryland or Ball State at Purdue, considering the trek?
One's a drive, one's a flight. Well, I guess you can drive to College Park. I did it twice this summer, so you can do it. It's 6 hours. Purdue's not much less than that, though. Purdue's got to be 4.5.
It's very West Lafayette.
Yeah, because you got to go to Indy and then up.
All right, talking about things that matter, players that matter for the teams that matter the most. CBS Sports in their college quarterback rankings into the 2025 season. At number 1, Cade Klubnik from Clemson. At number 2, Garrett Nussmeier from LSU. At number 3, Drew Aller, Penn State. Number 4, Arch Manning from Texas. Number 5, Julian Sain, Ohio State. Higher or lower for the Super Saiyan at 5?
That's high. And I would say that regardless. I mean, I know everybody knows the pedigree. I'm the one on record saying he's the best natural thrower of the football I've seen here, and I've explained that and given all of the opinion on why I think that. This seems a little high for me out of the gates for somebody who's never started a game. Lenore Sellers carried South Carolina the second half of last season. I've seen Sam Leavitt go toe-to-toe with Texas and damn near steal it. So I think there are just some proven guys who probably should be a little bit higher until we see it. I'm a little bit of a show-me state guy with this type of stuff, but I do think that by the end of the year, he could be in this mix at the very, very top of the sport. We just haven't seen it.
Yeah, if this was next year, maybe I could see Julian saying top 5. Not this year. Like, I don't know how any of us could have him in the top 10 right now because he has, 23 passing attempts? 12 passing attempts, something like that. Like, it's not very much at all. The guy behind him, as you mentioned, Bo, Lenora Sellers, just behind him, has, it's got to be above Julian. This is way too high for Julian right now. Right now. Maybe at the end of the year it's not, but right now it is.
I will do the old pushback. Nobody else on this list has Jeremiah Smith to throw the football to. Well, so you mentioned Lenora Sellers, the signal caller at South Carolina, is at 6. Sam Leavitt of Arizona State, 7. DJ Lagway of Florida is at 8. Venmo Mateer of Oklahoma is at 9. TCU's Josh Hoover at 10. Nico Iamalieva from UCLA is at 11. Higher or lower for Nico there?
Yeah, I'd have him a little higher on this list. He really impressed me last year in the game here at the Shoe where he took a beating and just kept getting up and getting up, getting up. So I think he's a little better off than that. I think if they would have been a little bit more locked in, he could have ended up at a better spot and quarterbacking a better team. I think the UCLA thing is going to be a real challenge for him, but I do think he's a little undervalued here.
I think Nico's probably about right here on this list. I think the thing here, though, in this grouping, I think Lenora Sellers and Sam Levitt are much higher. I might even have them as number 2 and 3 on my list. I do not understand the DJ Lagway love. I just do not get it. He would be well lower on my list. I don't understand them, or I don't understand him or Florida, the hype for either.
Yeah, it's a recruiting thing, right? Because he was the number 1 kid, and he showed some flashes last year. I also think Johnny Mateer is going to be a stud at Oklahoma. I'm bigger on Oklahoma. They could be in the mix for a playoff, so I keep an eye on him too.
At number 12, Jalen Daniels from Kansas. At 13, Diego Pavia of Vanderbilt. At 14, Damon Williams of Washington. 15, Jaden Mayava of USC. 16, Sawyer Robinson, Baylor. 17, Kevin Jennings of SMU. 18, Rocco Beck to Iowa State. 19, Miller Moss from Louisville. 20, Ty Simpson from Alabama. 21, Avery Johnson from Kansas State. Number 22, Carson Beck of Miami. Higher or lower for Beck there?
Come on.
Took me a while to get to him. Like, I wanted to get to Carson Beck. I'm like, come on.
I'm like, who are we getting to here?
Read all these guys.
Too low. It's way too low. A year ago at this time, he was going to go number 1 in the draft. And he didn't have a great season at Georgia, and he wasn't great in their big games. He threw 3 picks in the Texas game. I think he threw 3 in the Alabama game. But at the same time, like, the idea that he's not a top 15, 10 quarterback in college football, like, I think he's better than that. And for him to be 22 is quite honestly just wrong. He's better than that.
Yeah, Carson Beck's higher than this. He's probably in the top 10. It may be down at the bottom of the top 10.
Yeah.
But I would think he's up there. I'll tell you a guy in that whole long list of quarterbacks Reese read there that I really like, that was really impressive last year as a freshman at Washington, is Damon Williams. I think he's another guy that might be there right around Carson Beck at the end of the top 10.
Yeah, I think that game out there at the end of September is tricky. That'll be a tricky one.
And just real quick, we'll go into the 30s. Bryce Underwood at 35, the quarterback from Michigan. Then at 36, Central Ohio's Blake Horvath, quarterback at Navy.
My guy.
Give him love.
Hey, I mean, this isn't. We'll give a little. I have them in the playoff. I think Navy's making the playoff this year.
Ooh, a little foreshadowing.
They're going to be the highest ranked group of 5. I think they're getting in.
Because right under Horvath on this list at 37, Gunnar Stockton from Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, he's completely unknown, and that maybe speaks to. That's kind of the only question Georgia has revolves around him. I think it's too high for Underwood. I think Dante Moore at Oregon, I have my eye on. I think people forget that he started games 2 years ago at UCLA. He sat last year as an apprentice. He was a 5-star kid. I think he's a little low on this. Simmons at Ole Miss is nice, too. There's a lot of good quarterbacks here in this kind of grouping.
Yeah, Horvath, a little higher. Like, he's not a guy that's ever going to be a quarterback in the pros. But for a college football team, and the college football team that he's quarterbacking, Navy, he's pretty much perfect. So I think he's probably towards the end of like a top 20 here for them. This list is very interesting because there's a lot of guys on here that I think they have ranked higher than they should be, and a lot of guys that could go up. I'm with you, Bo. I think Dante Moore is going to be just fine at Oregon.
Yeah, me too. Which Hilliard school is Horvath from?
Darby.
Yeah.
Which they ran that Navy offense pretty much.
Love playing the Hilliard schools. You're done in half an hour.
It's over quick, baby.
I wasn't getting in the game, so it's all right. Let's keep this clock running.
Keep it moving, baby. We'll do the Big 12 preview, our picks in that conference. Who's on the hot seat? Who wins it? How many teams do they get in? That's coming up next. Anwar Richardson of OrangeBloods.com coming up at 11:30 for perspective on the Horns. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
If you consider yourself a Buckeye fan, you've come to the right place. This is your heritage sports talker and home of Ohio State Athletics, The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Earn 2% cash back on purchases and pay 0% APR on balance transfers for 15 months with a new Kemba Financial Credit Union Visa. That's more rewards and less interest. Apply at Kemba.org. For purchases and balance transfers made in the first 90 days, restrictions apply. APR equals annual percentage rate. Variable and subject to change. Equal opportunity lender. Expires 10/31/25.
Mornings can start feeling the same. Wake up, brush teeth, go to work. But with breakfast from Wendy's, it's like Wake up, brush teeth, Baconate with a breakfast Baconator. Roll with the sausage breakfast burrito. Buddy it up with a honey buddy. Or get seasoned with seasoned potatoes. And then go to work. Sorry. When you're ready for a fresh wake-up call, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. It's the last month for the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. That means you get special APRs with 3.99% up to 60 months on their most popular models. Lease payments as low as $419 per month. Also, plenty of pre-owned L-certified vehicles are on the lot with rates as low as 5.75%. If you're in the market, please stop in and see my guys. Jermaine Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton. Check them out online, jermainelexus.com.
Hey, Ohio State fans. While others cut corners, like that team up north, Valvoline Instant Oil Change is Buckeye-level quality. We train hard and treat every day like game day. We're always quick, but never rushed. And you can stay in your car while our experts do the work. Valvoline Instant Oil Change is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Visit valvoline.com/Buckeyes to find your nearest location and access exclusive fan savings.
At High Bank Distillery, they believe every pour should tell a story. Their Whiskey War spirits tell the story of Prohibition in every sip and was awarded the best blended whiskey in America 3 years running. Enjoy High Bank's nationally recognized spirits distilled right here in Ohio. Drink the best. Forget the rest. Learn more at highbankdistillery.com.
Our double hung is as good as it gets. There's something really simple. It's called an interlock. We interlock our windows. The interlock is the absolute best way to alleviate air infiltration. With the interlock, it's harder to break into. When you interlock the sashes, it makes a better window. It's just a darn good window, and we're very proud of it.
Call Rizzotti today at 777-4806.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with the thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks. Trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Hello, big voice guy here. I've been hired to tell you all about the Fans YouTube channel. Did you know you can immerse yourself in Buckeye goodness like Austin and Berm's daily podcast, The Beat? Yes, sirree, Bob. Subscribe today.
An official message from Medicare.
I'm saving money on my Medicare prescriptions. Maybe you can save too. With Medicare's Extra Help program, my premium is $0 and my out-of-pocket costs are low. Who should apply? Single people making less than $24,000 a year or married couples who make less than $32,000. Even if you don't think you qualify, it pays to find out.
Go to ssa.gov/extrahelp. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
And now, Public Education Matters with Ohio Education Association President Jeff Wensing.
As we start the new school year, educators and parents are standing shoulder to shoulder to support our public school students and demand the resources they need to succeed. Stand with us for the great public schools our students deserve. We are stronger together this school year because public education matters.
Public Education Matters, brought to you by the Ohio Education Association.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Make sure you have your umbrella and sunglasses. We'll have some chances of showers earlier in the afternoon with clouds increasing and then some sun here and there throughout the day and highs in the mid to low 70s. Overnight, partly cloudy with lows in the mid 50s with patchy fog developing for Friday morning. But don't worry, the sun will come out later in the day with highs getting into the mid 70s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfalo with the 10 weather impact forecast.
Catch T-Bone and Tyvus weekday mornings from 6 to 9. If you're not completely satisfied, we'll rewind time and erase your brain. For real, the Fan. When General Sherman marched through Georgia, he was listening to this show.
Use your skills for good, young warrior.
This is Bishop and Friends.
And the capital Florida Columbus High School football game of the week takes us to Hilliard Friday. Darby hosts Bradley. Coverage starts 6:30. Kickoff at 7. After the game, it's Byers Subaru Dublin's overtime with Ryan Baker and Lee Cochran. Friday nights are for high school football on the fan.
I know those guys.
I know that very well, yeah.
Good people.
Very well. Solid individuals.
Average at best.
I was looking at McNeil's lines.
Oh, did he drop
He's got him out for week 2?
He's right. Of course, he's ready. He's got Glenville getting like 17.5 against Liberty.
Yeah, I'm not so sure about that.
Tarbletters went to Massillon last week and won. I know Liberty's defending champs, but I think that squad's coming in ready to go.
They've played, I believe, at least the last 2 years, maybe the last 3. Those games have been fantastic.
Yeah, so that was one I noticed for sure on that side of things. All right, one other thing before we get to the Big 12 preview, and we can kind of expand on this a little bit tomorrow when they're doing the show live on a Football Friday as only we can here at the Fan. I think this year you could see a lot of coaching turnover, a ton of it. I do agree with the line that Cowherd had yesterday when we played that clip about the USC job of like, if you have one of these coaches that's got the multi-year tens of millions dollar contract, there's no money for a lot of these programs to buy those guys out. But in certain places there are. Paul mentioned Hugh Freeze at Auburn. I think there are some, like Luke Fickell at Wisconsin, if it falls really flat again. Those are some of them that you're looking for. But I think that you could see a lot of turnover in college football this offseason at the coaching position. We did it with the ACC earlier today. We'll do it with the SEC and the Big Ten tomorrow. Right now, we preview the Big 12. Someone has got to come out of here, fellas. Somebody's got to come out of here. Who is your sleeper bake in the Big 12?
Mine is Kansas, and I know they didn't have a good year last year, but Jalen Daniels, they got off to a kind of a slow start. Jalen Daniels was returning from a back injury, and they lost their offensive coordinator, Andy Kotelnicki, so I think that took some time. Down the stretch, though, they upset Iowa State, BYU, and Colorado. I love the coach-quarterback combos, and I think Lance Leipold can coach it, and I think Jalen Daniels is a pretty good quarterback. So I think, I'm not going to say they're going to be in contention to win, but I think they could maybe get in that top 4 of the Big 12.
Is that Rich Rodriguez's music? As a known agent of chaos.
Oh, boy.
It just does feel right to have Rich Rod back in Morgantown. Give me the Mountaineers, man. That could be a lot of fun and really bad.
Country roads take me home. Let's go. And he's like grumpy old man Rich Rod, too. I don't like this newfangled telephones these kids are carrying. Not having it. I'm going to go Baylor here. Sawyer Robertson back at quarterback. He's a senior. I actually think they could play for this league. It wouldn't surprise me if they represented the league. They had 3 straight losses in the middle of last season. They lost at Colorado. They lost to BYU and Iowa State, which kind of made people forget about them a little bit, but it wasn't necessarily his fault. Then they went on a big-time run and won a bunch of games consecutively. They put it on Kansas in the last game of the regular season, 23 out of 31, 310, 4 touchdowns for him. They lost to LSU in the bowl game, but Robertson was incredible, 445, 2 touchdowns. So give me Baylor as a sleeper, if that'll count, in the Big 12.
Phil Steele has them winning the Big 12.
Yeah, you can see it. I mean, you could see him in the mix. Coach on the hot seat in the Big 12, Reese? Or Bake, I'm sorry.
I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I'm a man. I'm 40. I think it's Mike Gundy.
Same.
They're trending in the wrong direction.
Yeah, I had the mullet as well. I don't think any other coach has heat really on the seat.
Here's the bigger conversation with Mike Gundy. It is the biggest. It's among the bigger what ifs in college football. What if NIL happened 20 years ago when T. Boone Pickens was alive?
Oh, man.
Because in those days, T. Boone gave $800 million to Oklahoma State. Because in those days, that's all you could do was facilities. So he just threw it into the stadium. He threw it into facilities. He threw it into all of that. Can you imagine if he could buy a roster the way that you can now? Mike Gundy's got to be going, where was this 15 years ago? Because they built really good teams. They were in the top 10 consistently. They were in the conversation for the mix and the national title. Sometimes they'd start the year in the top. They were always a top 10 team. Des Bryant, all those guys who had come through there. He just missed the era, which sucks for him, because I'm with you guys. He's my pick too. I don't know. if you ever can rebound from it. I mean, he had Ollie Gordon last year. They didn't do anything. Massive disappointment. So, yeah, I think that is probably the right answer on this one. All right, player of the year in the Big 12.
I think the best quarterback in the Big 12 is Sam Leavitt. And I think even though he lost his running mate in Cam Scatterbo, I still think Arizona State has a good year. I think Sam Leavitt's really good, and I think he is the player of the year.
Yeah, I have him as well, and most of that goes to I don't know, with so many of these teams just being portal poachers. Like there's the Morton kid from Texas Tech. What anything could Texas Tech be in year one of what basically is a modern-day T. Boone Pickens?
I think he's pretty good. He was my second. Like I was going back and forth between those two.
Yeah, I think any of those guys. I like Sawyer Robertson a lot. I like Baylor a lot. I think they could be very good. My only hesitation on Arizona State is they're starting the year ranked 11th in the country. Like a lot of that is the way that they lost to Texas last year. It's not like they were some juggernaut. They won their they won their league. They won their league championship. They got better. Scatterbo became a thing, and they had that Texas comeback because Texas was burying them early, and then they made it ultra competitive and damn near stole it. I think he's probably the right choice, but I like Sawyer Robertson at Baylor a lot too. I think both of those guys can get in. Will be in the mix. Championship game in the Big 12. Who do you got, Vic?
I have got Utah, who has most of their offensive line returning. They've got two experienced quarterbacks, and Kyle Whittingham is just really good. They went through like 5 quarterbacks last year. Mm-hmm. Kyle Whittingham's a really good coach. And I've got Arizona State. Like I said, I know they lose Scatterbo, but they've got 16 starters returning. I think they've got the best quarterback and probably the second best coach. I really like Kenny Dillingham. Those are the two in my Big 12 championship game.
I got Texas Tech and Iowa State. I do think this could be the year for Matt Campbell. I mean, they already knocked down one of their 2 ranked opponents this season. It'll remain to be seen what Arizona State looks like when they do play Iowa State. But, like, Cam Scatterbo had to throw a touchdown pass in that game against Texas. Cam Scatterbo's no longer playing for the Sun Devils. So I have too many questions for them. Again, in the preseason Big 12 thing, nobody knows what the hell's going on with this conference. Of the Power 4, this is the most wild and open.
It's wild. I mean, I could write you a script for any number of 8 teams who could win this thing. Truly. So I'm just going to go with, I'm going to do what I've learned from the video game. Texas Tech, the money was well spent. They're in the mix consistently on the video game when I watch when the boys are doing it. I'm going to go Texas Tech and Baylor in the Big 12 championship game, and I only have Baylor getting in. I have them winning it, and I have them getting in, and I think it's a 1-bid league. What do you got, Beck?
I've got Utah winning it, and I'm the same. I only have one Big 12 team in, and it's the Utes.
Yeah, Iowa State wins it, so Iowa State makes it. Nobody else, I think, from that league is going to have near the resume. Because, I go back to the Cyclones and the Sun Devils when they meet later on in the season. I think that game will be in November. Are either team going to be ranked? Probably not. Like, this league will cannibalize itself.
I think you could make an argument for Iowa State, Kansas, Arizona State, Baylor, Texas Tech, Utah, K-State. I think like 7 teams. It wouldn't surprise me if 7 of them. Even Colorado with Caden Salter. I could see him, if they look good tomorrow night against Georgia Tech. He was really good at Liberty. Like, he's won that job. They've got a little culture of winning there. Would it shock me? No, I think this thing is wide open. Absolutely. And I think one thing that's really cool about it is when you go to do the bracket, the winner of this thing is not the 4 seed. They're not the 3 seed. To me, the winner of this is the 11. So the 12 will be the group of 5 or 6 or whatever, and the 11 seed will be this team, the team that wins this league, because I think it's going to cannibalize itself. Another team that I have in the playoff, a guy who covers them, is going to join us coming up next. We go behind enemy lines with the horns with Anwar Richardson, orangebloods.com, Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
We can come the day you call us.
We're 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
We make junk disappear. All you have to do is point.
Brian, I've been meaning to ask you something.
Okay, ask away.
Sometimes when we're talking, I hear a little sparkling sound.
Is it when one of us says, all you have to do is point?
There it is. Did you hear that?
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic? Like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
The summer event is still on at Germain Honda of Dublin, and with football back, Rich is ready to dominate the competition. You can lease the sleek 2025 Honda Accord LX for as low as $249 a month or finance with 3.99% APR. Upgrade to adventure with the 25 Honda Pilot Sport all-wheel drive. Lease starting at $429 per month or 4.49% APR. Visit Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270. See dealer for full details.
You hear that? That's the sound of Pepsi Zero Sugar. The better tasting, more refreshing Zero Sugar Cola. Pepsi Zero Sugar. Let your taste decide.
The Columbus Zoo invites you to follow the footsteps and the tales of animals from around the world. Explore our newest region, North America Trek. So what are you waiting for? Get your tail to our trails only at your Columbus Zoo.
Hi, I'm Dr. John Runyon from Runyon Dental Group. Are you missing teeth or do you have uncomfortable dentures? Dental implants can not only transform your smile, they can restore your confidence and allow you to eat those foods you love that you've been missing. When I was in my early 30s, I was in a similar situation needing complex dental work and dental implants. I understand all the emotions that you're feeling because I've been the patient and I know that we can help you. Schedule a free consultation today at runyondentalgroup.com. That's runyondentalgroup.com.
It's almost Football Friday. All play and no work.
Sponsored by Tansky Sawmill Toyota.
Your home for football, The Fan. Producers, co-hosts, friends, some of those things are true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
All right, let's get some perspective behind enemy lines. He's a great friend of the program. We talk Texas football. We like to do so with Anwar Richardson, orangebloods.com, and he joins us on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. Well, buddy, this is one we've been waiting for. We've never had an opener like this. College football rarely, if ever, has had an opener like this. As you've gone through this offseason and the lead up to all of this, what is kind of the feel from the Texas camp of what they're going to see on Saturday?
So I hate the whole enemy thing that we have to be associated with, but it's kind of awesome though. To your point, I mean, this is one of those like kudos to Ohio State, kudos to Texas, right? I mean, it would be very easy to say, you know what, let's not schedule a tough game. Let's not schedule a marquee game. And let's not lead off the season with a game like this, right? So props to both of those programs for saying, you know what, we believe in ourselves, we believe in our product, and we believe that college football deserves to have some of the very best. And so I'm glad that they're giving that to us. I would say from a Texas perspective, and it's really interesting as I've talked to a lot of people, and I've talked to the coaches, and I've talked to the players, I've talked to fans, and there's a couple of different things. Of course, from a Texas perspective, they think about that game last year, and they think about what could have been, right? I asked Trey Wisner, the running back, I was like, how often do you think about first and goal on the 1 yard line? How often did you think about that in the offseason? He said, quite often. And I asked him, well, how often did you watch the tape? He goes, a lot, right? And so, we all know the reasons why, right? And so, there still is that thing of like what could have been, game lost, and of course, the dramatic fashion that it ended in. Of course, it was a little bit of a sting for Texas. Now they go on the road. But there's a flip side of that too, Bo. And I think from a Texas side, they look at it as, okay, they're going to go into Ohio State, defending national champions, hostile territory, like all those kind of things. But they look at it as also and say, 2 years ago, this is the same program that went into Tuscaloosa and defeated Alabama by double digits in Alabama. They look at it that the last season, they went into Michigan and they defeated Michigan by double digits in the Big House. And people can say, well, Michigan wasn't Michigan. Well, I think Ohio State fans would kind of say different on that part, right? Now, you still end up winning the national title. But so from a Texas perspective, they're currently on an 11-game road win streak. Last time Steve Sarkisian had a loss on the road was back in October of 2022. They've since ran off 11 straight games. So they feel like, you know what? We've been here. We know what this hostile environment's probably going to be like. It's the first time that they've ever, a lot of these players, or even Sarkisian, has been to the shoe, unless it's been on a recruiting visit. But they look at it and say, you know what, we've been able to have success on the road before. We kind of feel like we have the blueprint. So they're not going to go into this game intimidated and feeling like, oh, man, like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to solve this? They're going to look at it and say, we've been here, done that. We just got to repeat this formula just with a bunch of new players.
Yeah, and it's a bunch of new players on both sides. It's crazy. The last game Texas played was against Ohio State. There are going to be some guys you're familiar with, but obviously a bunch of new ones. But these two programs recruit at such a level that it's just next man up, and usually there's very little drop-off, if any. The biggest change, obviously, is at the quarterback position for both teams. I'm asking this.
And you're right, because I think Sark talked about all the guys who got drafted off of both of these teams last year. Like, that number was pretty high. I think I may have interrupted you, but just kind of co-signing on everything you're saying. Like, both of these programs have so much talent, and they've also been able to reload. Well, Texas more recently than Ohio State. Ohio State has a longer track record of that.
Yeah, where I was going with this was the quarterback thing. I asked this tongue sort of in cheek, but it's just the simplest way I can ask it. Are we sure Arch Manning's good?
Good or great?
Yeah, that's it.
Because
that's it.
Because there's a difference, right? Good, sure, but at this level, you're supposed to be great. If you're a Manning, you're supposed to be great. If you're at the number one program in the country, you're supposed to be great, right? And so that part, I don't know. Like, there's still, look. Arch Manning, I can't definitively say that without some sort of burnt orange glasses based off of him coming in off the bench versus UTSA, him starting against La Monroe, him playing against Mississippi State. Those are teams, respectfully, and then whenever you say respectfully, you also say something that's disrespectful right after that. Respectfully, it's like, no offense, and then I try to offend you, right? Those teams don't have a pulse. Right. And so this is really what it's about. And yes, I get it that Arch went in and he also had some packages that was for him, a lot of run packages. But now we're talking about this being your team. Now we're talking about you having Manning on the back of your jersey and everybody wanting to put you down into the ground. Like, now it's easy sometimes to be, play behind a quarterback and come in, right? Because there's no pressure on you. Quinn Ewers was the starting quarterback for the last 3 seasons. So, there was no pressure on Arch. Like, whatever you did is great, and then you go sit back down. But now it's your team. So, and you're going on the road. This is Arch's first start on the road in his career, going into year 3. So, can I say he's good? I can say he's good, sure. But when we start talking about the next level of what you need to be to have success in college football, and when you start thinking about, go back to the playoffs of last year, and you're thinking of the semifinals, and really even the playoffs, pretty much everybody has good quarterbacks at that point. Ohio State has a good quarterback. Hell, Arizona State had a good quarterback. Clemson had a good quarterback. You can't win at this level unless you have some sort of quarterback. Riley Leonard, you go down the list. So the thing is, I think what helps Arch is that I don't know how far past good he needs to be, because Texas has a great defense, right? So does he just need to be a little bit better than Quinn Ewers? Probably. But do we know for sure? Can I sit here today and say, I know exactly what you're going to get from Arch Manning? He's going to check all these boxes? No, that remains to be seen.
I'll tell you something that when you think to that semifinal, and we remember these incredible plays right before, from the Ohio State perspective, the play to Travion right before half, and then the Sawyer strip sack fumble that clinched it. But a number that a lot of people around here are reminded of, and certainly the man who's involved in the number knows it very well, is 1 catch, 3 yards, Jeremiah Smith. So he's going to get more than that Saturday, but what is that matchup like? Why was Texas so successful defending him last year? And what will be their approach to not just Jeremiah, but a Buckeye passing attack that's starting a brand new quarterback, but is probably the best group of pass catchers in the country?
Well, let's just be honest. Jeremiah Smith is probably the best athlete in college football. Like, if we're just being quite honest with you. 1 catch for 3 yards. No way in hell that's happening this weekend. Like, I'm just sorry. There's no way. That is one of the luckiest. And I'll say lucky because Texas fans would get mad at me if I said lucky. The odds of that thing repeating itself again is just darn near impossible. Now, listen, Texas had Jahdae Barron on the field, and he was the best defensive back in the country last season, okay? So that helps, okay? So that plays a part within that. That being said, Jahdae Barron's not here. Jahdae Barron is an NFL. Texas has a really good defensive backs. Don't get me wrong. They've got Jalen Gilbo, and they've got, Malik Muhammad, and, they've got a bunch of guys. They've got the really good safeties, but, the odds are Jeremiah Smith is going to have some get back, and Jeremiah Smith is going to get his. Now, what Texas has got to do is make sure it's not a monster game. Like, Texas doesn't want this guy going off for 160 and 2 touchdowns. But I think what Texas is going to do is probably going to be the same thing that Ohio State is going to do, which is you have a quarterback who hasn't really had a lot of playing time. You're going to have to try to disguise certain things. You're going to have to try to disguise your coverages. You're going to have to apply some pressure, hope that person makes mistakes, right? And I think that's what Texas is going to do with saying is that they're going to make sure that they bring the pressure. They're going to disguise things. They've got guys, especially like a Colin Simmons coming off the edge. He's a guy, a double-digit sack guy. You've got Anthony Hill at the linebacker position. You got Ethan Burke at the other edge. And they've just got a ton of guys in the interior. Hell, one of the guys that you guys are familiar with, Hero Canoe, he's at Texas. And so, he's going to be a guy that plays a role as far as applying that pressure is concerned. And, I think for Texas, always the key is for them is always going to be to stop in the run and put you in second and third and predictable. And they've got a bunch of DBs that really can cover. Again, Jeremiah Smith is going to get his, but the question is if Texas can get enough pressure on Sayin and really disrupt him and don't let him get into a flow, I think that's going to be the real key for them. I think on the other side, just real quick on that one, the biggest difference I think between Arch and what Quinn is that Quinn was a guy that, as we saw, wasn't really a mobile quarterback. And so he was a guy that if the pressure was there, he was going to take the sack. Mm-hmm. Arch is going to be a guy that's going to, if the pressure is there, he's probably not going to take the sack. Like he's still at that point where he's probably going to take off. And so that's what's going to make it a little bit more of a difference for them. I don't know if Texas is going to run a little bit more RPOs in order to kind of throw Ohio State off. But I do think that when Ohio State applies the pressure, they've got to decide like, hey, are they going to have a spy on Arch just to be careful? Because it's funny. Everybody always talks about Peyton and Eli, and they forget that his dad is actually Cooper, who is the most athletic Manning out of the entire bunch, right? So they always talk about the uncles who were statues. Like Cooper was a wide receiver in the SEC, so until he got hurt. So, he does have a lot of athleticism to him. So I think that'll be the difference from the Texas side is, Quinn was more of a statue. He ran occasionally. Arch is more of an athletic. They're never going to be a dual threat system, but they're going to utilize his wheels a little bit more.
Anwar, I'll get you out of here on this one. I got about 30 seconds for you. What do you expect to see Saturday?
I expect a low-scoring game, from both sides. It's going to be week one. It's exciting. I'm giving Texas the edge, but I do think I am saying this as a person who follows Texas, and I probably am a little bit more biased on that one. But I think it's going to be a great game. And the good part is, no matter what happens, it won't hurt either team, win or lose.
Yeah, it just feels like both sides are like, we'll see you again. We'll see you down the road is kind of what it seems
This might be the first of two times that these teams face each other, this time and then in the playoffs. Like, it's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. You got to, and make sure you send me some restaurant recommendations because I fly out to Columbus tomorrow. So I need that from you.
I'll take care of you on that. I'll make sure that we get you the appropriate places to go, my friend. Safe travels up here. Enjoy it. Hopefully Columbus treats you well. Thanks for your time, pal.
Thanks, guy.
All right, there he goes. Anoir Richardson, orangebloods.com on the Bryan Heating and Cooling Systems fan guest hotline. We get you three things on a Thursday. Up next, Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Viking, dedicated to creating travel experiences for the thinking person with programs designed for cultural enrichment on board and on shore. Discover more at Viking.com.
The Daily Ryan Day Show is brought to you locally by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers and by Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse on the Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
This is the Daily Show with Coach Ryan Day, brought to you by Safe Flat Auto Glass. Where has Julian Sayin, since he's been here and worked at quarterback, developed his skills the most?
I think he's grown up. was one of the challenges for our entire team. Got to grow up. We got a bunch of young guys, and so he hasn't played a lot of football on the field in games, but he's growing up. He's getting more and more reps on the practice field, and it's our job as coaches to make that practice field as much like the game as possible. Help him understand what to expect, but ultimately you got to go play. And we're seeing good play, good decisions, quick decisions. Started in the weight room and he put on some weight, got stronger, showed some leadership. And the more you go put it on the field, the more guys believe in you and build that trust. So, we're seeing all those things, and here we go.
Okay, we have another comment in just a moment. Hi, this is Paul Keels. This Buckeye season, don't let a broken windshield ruin your game plan. Safelite Auto Glass makes it easy to get your windshield fixed with their mobile glass shops all over Central Ohio. They can come to you anywhere, giving Buckeye fans more time for game time. OH? Man, I love that. Schedule at safelite.com. Safelite Auto Glass is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics.
Safelite Repair, Safelite Replace.
Buckeye fans, choose chill. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. It's got that crisp, refreshing taste that makes those moments when you choose to rise above the noise and choose chill even better. Coors Light is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, so crack one open and take a sip. Coors Light, choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2025 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado, beer.
At Ohio State, we are the never afraid to innovate teams, the agile, get it done teams, the achieve more together teams, and the improve people's lives teams. Together, we are the Ohio State University.
Learn more about Ohio State at osu.edu/impact.
Ryan had asked you about Julian, saying how important is it that Lincoln Kienholz continues to show the commitment to this program that he has?
And Lincoln's going to be a great quarterback, and I've told him that. I hope it's now. I hope it's in the next week or this season. But he is going to be a great quarterback, and how quickly he closes that gap is his challenge. And he is all Buckeye. He loves this team. He knows he's going to play this season. And he's got to be ready, though. He's got to be ready when he steps on the field. And he's going to work hard to make sure that he does that because he loves this team and he just wants to win.
It's the Ohio State Sports Network from Learfield.
Keep your summer fun going at Toyota's National Sales Event. Now through September 2nd, get a stylish new 25 Corolla with 4.99 APR financing or 5.99 on Corolla Hybrid. Excludes Corolla Cross and GR Corolla. Or lease a gas-powered Corolla LE for $199 a month for 36 months with $36.99 due at signing. With approved credit through TFS. Tax, title, and license extra. Call 1-888-36-TOYOTA for details or go to Toyota.com. Toyota. Let's go places.
For more than 35 years, Hyde Park Prime Steakhouse has been known by Buckeye Nation as serving the best steaks in the city. Our thick-cut, aged steaks have been a staple in Columbus with 3 locations in Upper Arlington, Dublin, and downtown. Hyde Park is proud to introduce our newly added wine room at the downtown Columbus location, where a new elegance in dining will surround you. And coupled with live entertainment every weekend, Hyde Park will be the perfect setting for any occasion or the perfect night out. Hyde Park is a proud sponsor of Ohio State Athletics. Go Bucks!
Cash for Clunkers continues during the Honda Summer Event at Lindsay Honda.
Listen up, Columbus. Cash for Clunkers is big money towards your next ride.
Up to $3,500 minimum for your trade.
Use it for the down payment, negative equity, or keep the cash.
Lease a new 2025 HR-V two-wheel drive LX or 2026 Civic four-door LX for just $299 a month. Zero cash down. Just bring us your clunker. Shop Lindsay Honda, the big Honda store now. For details, visit lindsayhonda.com.
Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
My AC stopped working. Your competition says it's fried. When I saw their cost to replace it, I could have just died.
We can give a second opinion, give you options and advice. We'll strive to earn your trust and make you a client for life.
Get a free second opinion. Replace or repair.
Call 614-683-9911. Call the folks at Buckeye, night or day.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Diamond Seller, your true jeweler for over 75 years. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, Reese, what do you have on the poll today?
So the common man's running our social medias today, and I think he gets credit for this fan poll, which asks, which Michigan man do you dislike the most?
Okay.
Your three options are Jim Harbaugh, Dave Portnoy, Desmond Howard. There's but others only getting 1% of the respondents here. 44% of you to the Daily Fan Poll say they dislike Desmond Howard the most of any Michigan man. Jim Harbaugh, 34%. Dave Portnoy, 20%.
Isn't it something like the Desmond thing? It always blew my mind that he had the double standard, that he could be the Michigan homer on game day and do all of that stuff, and Herbie couldn't. Like, Herbie had to be held to a standard of, like, he couldn't act like he played at Ohio State, but Desmond lives in the world that he plays at Michigan. For me, it's Harbaugh. I mean, it's Harbaugh.
Yeah, it's Harbaugh.
I mean,
not by a lot, but because Desmond's very dislikable. Very dislikable.
Desmond, like, even back to his playing days with the Heisman pose and all of that, like, I hated him then. I probably hate him more now. So, yeah, like Desmond's the guy for me. And I'll tell you who second might be for me, and it's not even a football guy, is Jalen Rose. Always dislike that.
Yeah, dislike him. He stinks.
Jalen Rose catching strays.
He's a Michigan man.
He's a Michigan man.
And he did a lot of that Fab Five documentary, like painted them, I thought, as more victims than they really were. And he's done a lot to create that narrative. And it's like, no, you guys took advantage of a system. You were wildly successful in college basketball. But you broke a rule and you got caught.
And they also didn't win it.
Yeah.
They walk around like they won it. They lost twice in the final. Time for three things. Hit it.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3 things.
Sponsored by Buckeye Lake Marina, Central Ohio's largest selection of new and pre-owned boats. Find your next dream boat at BuckeyeLakeMarina.com.
All right, number one for me. I mentioned yesterday NBC's 8th grade team making their football debut. They had a team cancel on them first week, so their debut came yesterday. Played the neighboring town, won 26-0, so that was positive, but just brutal. The very first offensive play of the season for us, our best player broke his wrist. He ran 32 yards and broke his wrist and done. And you just went, well, God, that sucks. He's one of Pade's best buddies. Ty, wish you all the best, buddy. Get well soon.
First thing for me, so I noticed yesterday we have a new sponsor for our officially endorsed Hydrate Me Med Spa. They've got 4 locations in the Columbus area. I went into Grandview yesterday and got a fast vitamin push, an NAD+, and I'm deathly afraid of needles, but it was such an awesome process, and I feel so much. And I think the extra sleep I've gotten and the Ohio State-Texas game might have a little bit to do with it, but I am so, I'll borrow the phrase, juiced up here on a Thursday for what's to come. And so if you're looking to get prepared for a college football season that's as long as it's ever been, or to recover from maybe a Saturday game day that went a little too much into Sunday, see my friends over at Hydrate Me Med Spa. I cannot recommend enough the team in Grandview.
I'm going to go check him out after our show tomorrow.
You might need it.
Give me a little shot of adrenaline.
Right around the corner from High Bank. So
yeah, right there.
First thing for me, yesterday was my first day sending out the plug sheet to everyone, filling in for Fish while he's out. And I forgot to put the Ryan Day show on there, so I'm already 0 for 1. Thankfully, Skip texted me right away, and I could send an email to everyone saying, oh, yeah, we have the Ryan Day show tomorrow, but bad job out of me. Hopefully, it's better today.
I can't even ever look at Skip the same after knowing that he's growing weapons of mass destruction in his yard.
I would not have thought that.
It's always the people you don't think.
I never would have guessed it. Number 2 for me. So Buddy Garrity, the nearly 3-year-old golden retriever, once a month he goes to the groomer. He gets all slicked up, trimmed up, so forth and so on. Every time he comes back, the people who groom him, they put like a little handkerchief around his neck. And so every time I see him, I'm like, you look ridiculous. Aren't you embarrassed? Aren't you embarrassed by that? So I've been doing that for years. Like, you look ridiculous to him. So now he does this thing that when he gets back from the groomers, he comes up to me with the ridiculous handkerchief around his neck, and he's almost like ashamed until I take it off. Then as soon as I take it off, he's bouncing around living his best life, but it's now part of his pattern. That, like, the handkerchief to him means he sucks, so he takes it off, and then he's his own man.
Second thing for me, so I'm thrilled that they do the college football week 1 all over Labor Day weekend, meaning I get Ohio and Rutgers tonight at 6. It's got no other competition for any eyeballs. The Guardians are off, so even if they were playing, I'm done with baseball this season. This from this morning, and I'm not sure what happened here, but UNLV AD Eric Harper talked about the Runnin' Rebels remaining in the Mountain West. Quote, "For one thing, the Pac-12 is no longer what it once was. It's the same logo, but without USC, UCLA, Oregon, Washington, Utah. It's not the same conference, and that's no disrespect to those schools in the Pac-12 right now." End quote. The ultimate, no disrespect, but here's a litany of disrespect for you, the Pac-12.
I wonder why they didn't just merge those two and be the Pacific Mountain West.
I just think the Pac-12 was so poorly managed that nobody wanted anything to do with them. And
yeah, they
this
took some of them.
This to Eric Harper's comments, it's like he still kind of views them as the same dopey Pac-12.
Yeah.
Second thing for me, and I can't do this tomorrow because we're going to be doing 3 things to a Buckeye victory, but tomorrow is 1 year since Johnny and Matthew Gaudreau tragically lost their lives. It's a big weekend on campus this weekend. A lot of people are going to be out celebrating the Buckeyes game. Hopefully a bunch of you are coming to the O on Lane tomorrow to hang out with us. Whatever you do, though, this weekend, please, please, please do so responsibly.
Yeah, that music means Ryan Day is up relatively shortly here, so no time for 3. But I'll echo everything Bake said. Be smart. This is a lovely day. It's a lovely weekend. It starts tonight. This is going to be awesome. Bunch of fun games tonight, and then away we go for a weekend that is really unlike any other for college football fan. Ryan Day is up next, kids. We're back tomorrow on a Football Friday. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Question from a listener: do you dopes ever get tired of talking about Ohio State? No. The Buckeye Show.
Weeknights at 6.
The Fan.
Oh, no.
Ah, that's the sound of someone who's misplaced
My debit card.
their debit card.
Where did I leave that thing?
Not at the gas pump, or the checkout counter, or the roof of your car. Now, if he has the Chase mobile app, he can use Card Lock.
Wait, I could just lock my card.
Yep, just a few tippy taps on his phone, and that sound? That's peace of mind from Chase.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor. Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Common Man here. Our friends at Care Heating and Cooling in Lenox are feeling the love. They're doing something extraordinary for Central Ohio families. The Lenox Feel the Love program provides deserving families and individuals with indoor heating and cooling equipment as well as installation at no cost. You can nominate someone who you think is deserving at feelthelove.com. Nominations will be accepted through August 31st. Let's give back to our hometown heroes. Selfless neighbor, maybe who always puts everybody first. Community leaders like teachers, firefighters, and volunteers, or just families facing hard times. Whoever you think is worthy, send a nomination. As of 2024, the Feel the Love program has completed more than 350 installations with help of dealers like Care Heating and Cooling. Our friends at Lenox donate all the equipment, and Care donates the labor and materials, and the installs are done at no cost. Remember, the deadline is August 31st. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING or book an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com when you need a company you can trust.
OutRN, where your tailgate begins. Open at 6 a.m. on game day. Be one of the first 100 through the door and score a limited edition OutRN shirt. 3 generations of fans have signed their walls. With the biggest bar, best patios, and great music. It's the #1 game day tradition. Follow them on social for details. OutRN, the legendary bar on High and Franby since 1969.
I can't wait to meet her. Oh my gosh.
Put your hands together for new Dr. Pepper Blackberry and Dr. Pepper Blackberry Zero Sugar.
There she is! Woohoo! Yeah! It's full Dr. Pepper!
With sweet blackberry flavor!
Dr. Pepper Blackberry, I'm obsessed with your succulent taste. Please marry me!
No! Marry me! Marry me, or I'm gonna freak out!
Try new Dr. Pepper Blackberry.
It's a pepper thing!
Common Man here for Jermaine Lexus of Dublin and Easton. It's the last month for the Golden Opportunity Sales Event. That means you get special APRs with 3.99% up to 60 months on their most popular models. Lease payments as low as $419 per month. Also, plenty of pre-owned L-certified vehicles are on the lot with rates as low as 5.75%. If you're in the market, please stop in and see my guys. Jermaine Lexus, 2 locations to serve you, Dublin and Easton. Check them out online, JermaineLexus.com.
Tailgate season is here, and if your grill makes you have to duck when you light it, it's time for an upgrade. Billiards Plus carries top-of-the-line grills that you can pass down to your kids and gifts the whole family will enjoy. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
Road trip!
This summer at Tire Discounters, your tires are your passport to savings, because you're driving to Paris,
Texas,
then it's off to Rome,
Georgia,
and you'll be kissing the Blarney Stone in Dublin,
Ohio.
Right now, save up to $404 when you buy 4 tires, and that includes a free alignment and oil change. Stop at Tire Discounters before you see the world.